Buff Nation, what up? BWB, my bandwagon buffs. What it is, what it does, and what it's gonna be. It's your man's Harry Billion. Welcome to the Liberian. Look at me. I'm messing up my intro, okay? Welcome to the Liberian perspective, okay? All right. Please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as it uploads to YouTube. Guys, welcome to the show. Welcome to TLP Live at Noon. I am your guy, your host, Harry Billion. Today is a wonderful day. I am glad that you are here amongst the living. We are going to talk about the gaps that Coach Prime needs to fill. We're going to talk about special teams. I'm going to give you some updates about what's going on in the Big 12 and their conference and the bowls that they are playing. Thanks to my guy, Phil. And today is Free for All Friday. All right, where you guide the conversation. Well, that's if, whatever I'm talking about, it ain't important enough, but I always come prepared just in case you guys ain't talking about nothing, and all you're doing is fighting in the comment or the chat, all right? I'm paying attention as I'm talking, or my guests are having a conversation, and I'm just seeing people fighting in the chat. Like, what in the world? I don't know if we are the only fan base that does this, or every fan base, they got people fighting in the chat, or they got people just disagreeing. You never play this game. Some people are not mature enough to just let it be. You know what I'm saying? And they're always going to come at you. This is what sports talk is all about. But there's always fighting. Why do you guys think that you have to play this game to have an opinion about the game? You ain't got to play this game, okay? A lot of you are not politicians, but you talk about political stuff. You know what I'm saying? What if, I'll give you this example. What if we were having a political conversation and one of y'all was like, you never wore a three-piece suit in your life. You never stepped foot in the chambers in your life. You see what I'm saying? It's like, I don't necessarily have to step foot in the chamber to talk about politics. But it seems like you guys keep doing the same thing, and I keep saying it in the chat. People are having, like, y'all are just at each other's throat. You never play the game. You never play the game. You never play the game. Like, should I do a show where I bring on a bunch of people who play the game, and I quiz you? I give you a litmus test on like your knowledge of football, or your knowledge of coaching, or what you've seen during this season, based upon your previous knowledge, or based upon the fact that you've played the game. Would that make any difference? I don't know, man. But y'all keep it interesting, all right? Y'all keep fighting and I don't know. I don't know why y'all keep bringing that up. You never played the game. You never suited up. But, yeah, if you've ever stepped foot in the chambers, I guess you have more of a point to make. I don't know. It's weird. Stop it. Stop doing that stuff. All right? People can have an opinion based upon years and years of following the football. If you watch the game, if you listen to analysts, if you talk about the sport, if you do research, you see what I'm saying? If you've done that, that should be enough to be able to have a conversation about football. But for some odd reason, a lot of y'all just keep thinking like, oh, you got to play the sport in order for you to talk about this sport. No, you don't, okay? All right, so listen, man. You know how this show goes. I have a topic. We can discuss the topic, or on a Friday, on a free-for-all Friday, you guys can lead the conversation. Right here in this area, as customary on this show, is the email for you to call into the show. Hot tips for TLP. Well, let me see. Hot tips for TLPsports@gmail.com. You call in, I send you a link, and you come on and you can voice your opinion. If you want to rebuttal something that I've said, or you just want to add to the conversation, this is the show where you can do it at. It's Friday. It's probably payday for somebody. And guess what? Some of y'all are playing hooky. And and I would like to have somebody new come on. I do have my regular folks that come on. They're very opinionated. They're very smart people. Like, there's a lot of smart Buff fans and a lot of smart BWBs that come on here and they make this show exciting. I think that's my favorite part. I love talking. Obviously, that's my gift. You know what I'm saying? I can talk all day. But I enjoy when I get a break where the panel comes on. I either ask them some questions or they just lead the conversation. I like that part of the show now. When we started off, I was talking a lot more, but nowadays my panel does a lot of the talking, and I enjoy that. So if you are somebody who's watching the show live, or you're watching after live or on the repost, go a little further, because the conversation gets really interesting when you go a little deeper and you go a little further. That's when we get going. That's when we gear up, and some interesting conversations start coming out. So if you are right here, guys, we're about to get into the show. Please do me a solid and go ahead and smash that like button so that we can get the video shimming all over to the algorithm so that we can get more people watching. Some people, they say it's kind of early for them because if it is now 12:07 on the East Coast, it is 9:07 on the West Coast. Some people can't come on too early, so maybe hour number 1, hour number 2 or 3, they can come on and have a conversation with us. But if you go ahead and press that like button, some people who are out there in YouTube land or somewhere, YouTube will find them and say, hey, go ahead and come and join TLP Live at noon and talk about Colorado football. So before I get into the show, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about the current event, what's happening around the Buffs, and Coach Prime, anything new? You know what I'm saying? Does he have a new girlfriend? Nah, we don't talk about that. But is there a new recruit? Somebody jumped into the transfer portal? We're gonna get into that. But first, let me say hello to my guests who are joining me on the show. Good morning, good afternoon. Hello, everybody from around the world. DC Carson Music, what's up? That was my guest yesterday. I think, DC, that was your first time coming onto the show yesterday, man. You electrified the show. Your energy was up. And I can't ask for more. When you come on, man, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to do this show. It's not just like some people think when Stephen A. Smith is doing his, verbal gymnastic, they think that that's easy, right? But when you come on a show like this, when you are on the sports show, you got to have energy. You got to infuse energy into the show so that people can be, number one, entertained, and then to get information while they're being entertained. It's mostly entertainment. So when you come on a show like this, you want your energy to be way high. You want to make sure that your voice is loud enough. You're not kind of like, yeah, I like what you're talking about. Yeah, you're doing a good job. And, you know what I'm saying? You want to have that energy so people can feel like, you know what I'm saying, they are a part of a live show. You feel me? So DC Carson did that for us yesterday, man. Salute DC Carson Music. Salute to you. Shirley Kimball, how you doing today? Hope all is well. Bishop Frank, either doctor or drive, Newark. Good afternoon, good morning. East Coast Cav, always blessing me, man. I appreciate you, East Coast Cav. Good morning, Newark, New Jersey, by the way, of Brooklyn's in the house. Arizona's in the house. Well, Arizona, well, I don't know what that is, but Arizona, you got question marks, KMS. KMS got questions about Arizona. All right. Arizona and Kent State look pretty good. Richard LaFleur, what up with you? Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, hello. All right. So who else is in the building? Panda Bear's in the building. Panda, how you doing today, man? Hope all is well. Phil So Real, what's going on, family? Hope all is well. Hope all is well. Phil is it's a gem with the information. Yeah, man. So you guys make this show what it is, and I appreciate you, and I want you to know that you are appreciated. So, what's new? What's new around the Buffs? What's going on around the Buffs? The first thing I guess I can bring up is that the fact that I guess, yeah, let's go ahead and start with that. On Twitter or on you got Jordan Seaton is going to be the captain of the UA. This is going to be like wait, what was it? What was it? I didn't have it queued up. I'm so sorry. What is this on? 5-star Jordan Seaton Jr. Well, okay, I'll give you this first. Jordan Seaton says Deion Sanders was the most personable coach recruiting him. He said Bama and Tennessee finished second, that he inked on Wednesday of signing day, and Trent Williams would be a mentor in his development. So Jordan Seaton was saying Deion Sanders was most personable. We've discussed that several times here on the show about Coach Prom's personal touch as far as being more relatable. He's a genius at when it comes to recruiting. Coach Prom does he does a heck of a job recruiting because he can relate. He doesn't really necessarily sell you a dream. Your dream is your dream, and he makes it real to the parents, and he lets people know, hey man, I'm here to give you whatever opportunity you're seeking. You're going to have to earn everything from here on out to the next time. So Coach Prom makes it real. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't sell you a dream. And that's what makes him special as a recruiter. And even though his personality is out of this world, and that kind of helps a lot, but once you get past all of that, you got to be relatable. You got to be somebody who people can believe. When people look into your eyes, they're seeing your soul. When you're speaking, people can tell a little bit about who you are and what you're bringing to the table. And they can smell out, fluff or BS. Coach Prom, when he goes into a room, he's very confident about who he is and what he was able to achieve with football from college all the way up to the pros. And when he sits in that room, he's bringing three people with him. He's bringing the recruit. He's bringing the recruited. He's bringing the parent of the child being recruited. So that's two. And then he's the recruits, the recruited. The recruit and the recruiter is the same thing. And then he's bringing the coach who's doing the recruiting. So he's bringing those three experiences. And it's a lot of coaches don't have that touch. So when he sits in that chair, he's talking to you like, hey man, I used to be where you're sitting at. So I know exactly what you wanted to hear, and I know exactly what I did not want to hear. So I bring that touch to it. So that's something that's special, and I think Coach Prom has that. Coach Prom has that lock on recruiting. So that's what Jordan Seaton said, that Coach Prom added that personal touch, and he was more personable in his recruiting process. So that was one of the reasons why he chose Coach Prom. All right, guys, what else is going on around Coach Prom and the Buffs? We are going after a young man. We are going after a couple of recruits, a couple of players that have entered the transfer portal. And you guys, all of you guys saw the tweet that Coach Prom tweeted out that has gone viral, where Coach Prom is saying, I need a DT, I need another cornerback, I need a linebacker. If he said I think he said linebacker, I'm not for sure. I don't have to tweet anymore. But yeah, so that's something that Coach Prom has put out there in the environment. So it seems like anytime somebody enters the transfer portal, I don't know how you feel or how you feel about this. Whenever somebody enters the transfer portal, I feel like, oh my goodness, I want us to get that person. Or if it's a linebacker, or if it's like an edge rusher or an offensive lineman, I'm always thinking like Coach Prom is going to get that person, especially the high ticket person. I just feel like, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like we're going to get that person. So that's another thing. So yeah. So that's what I have going on so far. I want to jump into the 18 players that we're getting. One thing that you need to know about the 18 players, which was written by Jack Carlo from the Buffalo's Wired at usatoday.com. I want to give you that information because I would say there's been a lot of videos that are kind of floating around. We've talked extensively about the players that are coming to Colorado, but if there's one thing that maybe you're new to the chat, or maybe you are new to the live and you've seen some of the players around, but you haven't been able to see all of the players, let me just give you one thing that you need to know. And it was pretty much well written by Jack Carlo, but one thing you should know about each player that's going to be coming to Colorado. We're going to get into that. We're going to start with that. And then I want to talk about special teams. Special teams is like the general conversation that I want to have. but I have other information that I want to give you. So, but before I do that, before we jump into that, I want to thank Phil, one of our constituents, for this information. You guys know that we are going over to the Big 12. The Big 12 is our destination. That's where we are going to be heading. Now, we know that our Big 12 schedule is not as, I would say, tough as our Pac-12 schedule. But this Big 12 schedule is not a pushover schedule either. So I want to caution us, for those of you who think that this is going to be a pushover schedule, or because of the players that we are bringing in, that this is going to be somewhat of a easier time for us. It is not going to be that. And I'm going to say that because of how they're doing in their bowl games. And like I said, thanks to Phil for sending me this information. This was pretty dope. The Big 12 is not doing so shabby in their bowl games, okay? They're doing pretty well, all right? And I want to share some of this information with you. And you'll see, like, I'm not going to play no highlights or whatever. I do have all of that. And I want to do a video that kind of gets into some of the highlights, maybe down the road sometime. And I might do a single video for that. I'm not going to do that live. But I feel like the Big 12 is, the more you know about the Big 12 teams, the teams that are playing right now in the bowl games and how they're doing, I feel like you get a sense of what's going on around college football and what we're looking forward to having next year. Because like I said, man, it ain't going to be no cakewalk. But anyways, let's go ahead and pull up some graphics for you guys so you can see what's happening in the Big 12. Give me 1 second. I will do that. And guys, while I pull that up, hot tips for tlpsports@gmail.com. That is the email that you're going to call, that you're going to email for you to come in and join the show. All right, so here we go, guys. On your screen, you will see Kansas State beats North Carolina 19-28. All right, and the next one we got Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State beat Texas A&M 31-23. All right, next we had Kansas. Kansas beat UNLV 49-36. Perspective, guys. Think about the perspectives that we have as far as the teams that we're going to be playing, just in case anybody thinks that it's going to be it was going to be a cakewalk. And give me 1 second. Also, we had Arizona. I'll put up the Arizona in a second. Give me one moment. For anybody that thinks that, Kansas was going to be a cakewalk, Oklahoma State was going to be a cakewalk, Kansas State, all of those teams, that they did fairly well in their bowl games. I want to get some takeaways. What are you guys thinking out there? I know you're like, well, Harry B., even though they won their bowl game, it doesn't mean that, you know what I'm saying, they're going to be giving Colorado the business, because we are stacked in every position. We are getting players. So you saw we had, if you guys remember, Lamonius Craig, he didn't really perform. I don't know if he played in that game, but he didn't really get no stats for me to kind of tell you. But Lamonius Craig was a buff that performed very well in that spring game. And then he went over to Arizona. I don't know that he played in this 38-24 win over Oklahoma. But these teams, all right, so these Big 12 teams, thanks to Phil, like I said, performing pretty well in their bowl games. What does that mean? What does that say to you? Like, what is that communicating to a lot of y'all? That's not shabby, or these are not bowl games that are like, these are not high-level bowl games. What does that communicate to you? What are you seeing? What are you hearing when it comes to all of those bowl games? All right. What did you say, Phil? And keep in mind, this was this was with some of their backups too. Everyone had guys opting out to have their backups ready to play this. To play this well means a lot. All right, so that's a good point. That's a good point to make. What is that communicating to a lot of y'all? So y'all understand, like, this is where we're going. Okay, this is I bring information here to prepare the constituents to understand what road lies ahead. All right, where we are going. What does this really communicate to you? I want to understand how you are feeling when you see these results coming in from the Big 12 and the teams that we're going to be facing. Let me remind you of the teams that we're going to be facing. I'm doing this for reasons that we have aspirations of being a part of that 12-team conference, 12-team playoff. All right? These are the teams that we are playing. All right? And you see Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Kansas handling their business. All right? Arizona also handling their business. When these teams are handling their business, and let's just say they bring back most of those players. Now, rumor has it that Arizona has two of their I guess their quarterback and a wide receiver number 4 is going to be jumping into that transfer portal. So we know that there's going to be some movement. You know, once the bowl games are all done, there's going to be some movement because guys are playing for their NIL now. That's one thing you have to understand. A lot of young men are playing for their NIL. They're playing for their next deal because why not? Get some money when you can. If you do well, you can now get into that transfer portal and shop yourself and get a bigger deal for yourself. Whether your school want to ante up, whether your school comes to the table and say, hey, man, we're going to give you whatever you're looking for you to come and stay and play for us, or you shop yourself in the portal so that your deal can be increased. And a lot of the guys that are doing well in these bowl games, I guarantee you their deals are going up. The coaches know it. The collectives, they know that. So that's what's happening in college football. That's what's happening around the Big 12, and that's what's going on around here, okay? Harry B., I can tell you exactly where we are going. Coach Prime will be the first African-American coach to win a national championship. What year are you talking about? You talking about next year? I don't know what that means. I mean, I don't know. We don't know. Okay, that's just that's a speculation. You know what I'm saying? There's other coaches out there. There's other African-American coaches out there. I'm not saying that you're not telling the truth, but you know what I'm saying? We'll see. Solid Gold, what's going on with you? North Dakota State just won a national championship in D2. That's the top. That's our top team there. I think that's going to be our first game. So, I thought somebody said they lost their game. I don't know. Y'all let me know if is that true. North Dakota State just won the national championship. I don't know. All right. So. All right, so let's get into the meat of the show, guys. Make sure to smash that like button to get the video out to other people to make sure that we get people coming on, people seeing the show. Did I say hello to Tim Smith? How you doing today? Hope all is well. Yo, Creole, I believe. Her moments. How you doing today? Okay, so you said Lamani is correct. Did play, but he didn't get that many touches, so I didn't really see on the he didn't make no highlights. I didn't see the whole game. I just saw highlights, mostly highlights. So that's what I saw. Who else is here? Who else is in the building? Ron Tay, how you doing today? Delaware's in the building. What up? Panda, what up? Let's see. Who else is in the building? Richard LaFleur, I think I said hello to you. Want to get into the show, but I want to make sure I say hello to everybody that's here. Solid Gold, what's up? Millionaire Lifestyle, what up with you? Hope all is well. Arizona and Kansas going to be okay. So I think Arizona is going to be losing people. So they may not be the same team. Now, if they lose some key players, they're not going to be the same team. So some of these shows we're going to have to, We're going to have to re-up on some of these shows because once it's all said and done, once the transfer portal business is all said and done and everything starts jumping and it calms down, we're going to have to do some shows, or I might have to do some videos that just kind of let you know this is what each Big 12 team is losing. So once I get that data, once I get that information based on who's losing who, then I'll be able to do another show, or then I'll be able to do some live shows to let you guys know, okay, this is how strong we are going to be. Right now, these is just kind of early conversations that we're having. I just want to let everybody know that. Like right now, any predictions that you hear from me or some of my panel members, these are early predictions based on what's happening currently. So don't hold on to this information like it's gold, not yet, because while we are getting some solid pieces, other teams are going to be getting some solid pieces, but they're also going to be losing a lot of solid pieces that's giving them their current strength. So whatever strength that they currently have is not going to be the strength that goes into the season. And I want to be fair, and I want to always bring you information based on the team's strength, and then you can take that information and do with it whatever you want to do with it. And that's how we do evaluations here at TLP Sports Club. I told you guys, if you remember, I told you give me 1 year, and I'll start making predictions. I will start giving you that data that I used to lean on so much from other people. Now that I have 1 year under my belt, I know the teams. I know a lot of the teams. Okay, I've seen a lot of the teams play. I know their pieces, or I know a lot of their pieces. I've learned a whole lot, and my predictions are going to be much stronger this time around. I promise you, because I know how to decipher, or I know how to read the data. I know how to extrapolate the data based on the human factor, based on everything. That's why we talk about everything here. We talk about discipline. We talk about culture, attitudes. We talk about your mama. Everything that goes into why your why is your why. Does that make sense? Why your why is your why. I think that makes sense because everybody has a why. Why are you playing the game? Right? Most of the young men have a why. The reason why you're playing the games makes you go a little extra. It makes you fight a little extra. It makes you want it a little bit more, because this is not a situation where we're playing high school ball where the talent pool is so vastly different from team to team. Some teams are going to have a lot more five-star players or a lot better players, and they're going to dominate other teams because other teams just don't have the resources. But now we are FBS football, where the talent is spread out, especially when you come to the portal and NIL. Now you don't have the super teams anymore. The SEC is depleting. I promise you. The SEC is depleting. Like, there are quarterbacks that are jumping into the portal here, left and right. So your why has to be defined nowadays. Okay? Because lined up right across from you is going to be a guy that wants this just as much as you want it. So what am I saying, Harry B? What are you saying? I get into the nitty-gritty so that I can bring you solid data here on TLP Sports Club. So remember, guys, hot tips for tlpsports@gmail.com. Join the conversation. Call in. Let me know you want to come on and you want to talk about the Pac-12. Let me go ahead and get this link popping. Let me get my guest starting to come on here. We have a couple of things that we want to discuss. Oh, y'all ready to go? Man. I got like 5 links to send right now. You guys are ready to. It's Friday. Y'all got to pay. Y'all happy? Y'all ready to go? Okay. Other days I'll be having to send the email 5 times before somebody want to bite. It's Friday. Y'all looking all happy. It's payday. Y'all ready to go now. Let me send these links, okay? Everybody wants to come on now. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Let me see. I hope I got everybody on here. All right. Let me send out the link, and then I will go ahead and All right, guys, so let's go. I'm ready to go. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. Let's go. It's Free for All Friday. Remember, it's Free for All Friday. We're going to talk about everything today. All right? We're talking about it all. But I want to start off with this information. One thing that you should know about each player that we're getting. I'll try to make it real fast. We can discuss it as we go along. And you guys let me know what you think about the one thing that you should know. Here we go. One thing to know about each of Colorado's 18 and counting incoming transfers. This article was written by Jack Carlo from the Buffalo's Wired at usatoday.com. All right. One thing you need to know about each player and, what's going on with them. Because we're getting a lot of players. And for a lot of you, you probably can't keep track of all of the players that we're getting. So this information is valuable. You get it up top of the information. You get it at the top of this video. And then you can, deal with that information how you will. Linebacker, give me 1 second, guys. All right, guys, so we got linebacker DJ Lundy from Florida State. In his fourth and final season at Florida State, Lundy's run defense grade of 91.3 ranked first among all college linebackers according to Pro Football Focus. We talked about that in, I don't know if it was yesterday's show or a show before yesterday, day before yesterday show. The fact that he is ranked first amongst all other linebackers. That's a big deal. All right. All right, guys. So we're gonna take it one at a time. I'm gonna bring on the panel. We're gonna discuss why that's important to you. And I'm gonna bring on Phil, and then we're gonna bring on Panda. Phil, what up with you, Panda? How you doing today?
Just good. How's everybody doing?
Good.
All right, I got other guys coming on today. We're gonna have a good conversation today. The first thing that we're discussing right now is we already talked about it a little bit in his fourth and final season at Florida State. Lundy's run defense grade of 91.3 ranked first amongst all college linebackers according to Pro Football Focus. I want your thoughts on that, please. You can go ahead, Phil. You start first.
I mean, shoot, that's pretty much what the doctor ordered. I think that's exactly what Colorado needs to help improvement on their defense. The one thing I will say is,
Phil, if you can turn your volume up just a little bit for me.
okay, my bad. But one thing I can say is I think I wonder how different the scheme that Florida State runs is compared to Colorado, because it could be scheme that's also helping him be in the right place at the right time. So I do wonder what that difference is. So I can get into that and look that up for you as well. But I think he's going to be a great plug and play person for Colorado, and I think he's one of the guys I'm most excited about looking to see for Colorado next year.
You bring up a good point about scheme. I think yesterday we kind of loosely talked about culture and whatever you're coming into can affect your numbers. It can affect how you perform. So I think that's a good point that you bring up. Panda, what are your thoughts?
I think he's a great addition. I think sometimes we extremely hard on Coach Kelly with the scheme. I think some of the right plays will call, just not the best talent to execute it. We don't really know the scheme going forward on offense or defense, so we kind of have to wait until the spring game, to be honest.
We gotta wait.
But
But those numbers, just speaking of the fact that we're talking about 91.3 being ranked amongst all linebackers, that means what to Colorado as far as just on the surface. You know how we do.
they have an NFL player. They have somebody who could perform on the NFL level that's going to be there next season.
All right, let's go on to the next person. Let's learn what the next guy is. Give me one moment, please. We're gonna jump into the other aspect that I talked about to begin the show. We talked about well, I pretty much brought up how the Big 12 is performing. That was thanks to Phil. I appreciate you, Phil, for that.
No problem.
How the Big 12 is performing, and they're doing pretty well. So I always want to let people know this is not going to be no pushover conference that we're going to. It was our previous home, and they be ready to play. Peter Investor, how you doing today? Hope all is well. The Northside TV, what's going on? Overly Dedicated, how you doing? King P, what's up with you? That Texas Truth, hope all is well. X-Men from South Africa. I keep saying South Africa because you are my international guy. What up with you? Picture Me Free. Hey, what's going on? Hope everything is well with everyone. Let's move on to the next guy. Preston. He's a safety. Preston Hodge from Liberty. With Hodge in the Flames defensive backfield, Liberty went undefeated during the regular season and will face Oregon in the Fiesta Bowl on January the 1st. Hodge opted out of the New Year's Day game, though, after signing with Colorado. What does that mean? Panda, well, hold on, Panda. Y'all hold your thoughts. Let me bring the tennis channel on. Willie, what's up, man? Big Willie style. How's it going today?
Hey, man, it's going really good.
Yeah, just lower your volume there if you can.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. So I want to start you off. Should I start with Panda, or so you can get ready?
Yeah. Start with Panda.
All right, Panda. Give me your thoughts on Hodge, safety Hodge. He opted out. You think that was a good idea, opting out to get ready for Colorado?
I mean, that pretty much says that he's trying to be there in January to get used to the team and what the program trying to execute for the new season. It's wise on both sides. He could get injured. He could, do a bunch of things. So I have no problem. That's as a player. That's mean that he's really dedicated to coming to see you and believing in Coach Prime vision, perhaps for the next level. Because as a player, you want those memories. So I think he's really interested in the program to get him to the next level.
All right, so Phil, what do you think about that? The fact that he's deciding to stay out, like, what message does that send to you? Dedication, whatever you got.
So I'll look at it like this. I think when you have a guy coming from a mid-major, coming from a group of five, coming up in competition, I think it makes sense for them not to play in the bowl game. However, because uh, Liberty is playing Oregon, I would have liked to seen him against some tougher competition, just to get an idea of how good he is. Because Liberty's schedule was, as we used to call it in college, it was poo. Like they didn't play against nobody, right? But because they were the highest ranked group of five team, they get into a New Year's Six bowl. Um, just initially, the little bit that I know about him, from the highlights that I've seen of Liberty, which is not a lot, I think he's probably going to be more of a depth person. I don't think he's going to be your plug and play first day starter for Colorado.
Okay. All right, so Big Willie style, you ready, or should I go to the next one?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I don't know. I think it's up to the player. I mean, a bowl. How would I know? I've never played in a bowl game before. I don't know the excitement and all that stuff behind it. However, these guys, I guess they're making a choice, and a lot of them make the choice for those very reasons that we were talking about. How high if they go into the league, how high they want to go. I don't know. I don't know the thinking, just say behind that. So and now this is the player we say that wants to come to Colorado.
Well, he's already coming to Colorado. He's decided not to. He's decided not to play in that bowl game so he can get ready for Colorado.
Oh, okay, I like that. That's good. He stands less of a chance of getting hurt or something like that.
Yeah,
I'll go. He's coming to Colorado. Oh yeah, brother, come on over. Come on down. Stay out. You don't need to play.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need that smoke. You know.
If you're going somewhere else, go ahead, suit up, bro.
Yeah. You know.
Oh, I love the selfishness for Colorado fans. I love it. All right, guys, so we're moving right along to defensive lineman. That's Chido Nwangwo from Houston. All right, Chido, that Warren Sapp joining Colorado's coaching staff played a big role in his decision to commit. That was something that he pretty much said about why he committed to Coach Prime, and that seems pretty, you know what I'm saying, seems honorable. That it seems like Coach Sapp is already pulling his weight. Let me bring on DC Carson to give me his thoughts on that. DC Carson, welcome to the show. Thank you for calling in.
What's going on, Harry, and everybody else on the panel? How y'all doing?
Hey, so hey, how we doing, man?
Blessings.
All right, let's talk some good football today.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
All right. So here's the thing. I think Sapp will definitely be good. You know, Sapp is like always at level 10. I think he's going to be able to give them some very good technique. He'll be able to critique it. I think the thing is, the drawback on that is that sometimes when people are high motor, they expect people to get everything like right there off the bat. So that would be my thing is that if Sapp comes in and he has developed himself as that coach that's not just, hey, this is the one way I teach, but I have multiple ways of making sure somebody teaches,
Coach
he'll
Sapp?
be fine.
I have. And how did you come to the conclusion?
Well, the thing is that you
emphasis on Coach Sapp.
Okay, we've never seen Coach Sapp necessarily.
That's
on that
actually
level.
not true.
At that level,
you can go on YouTube. You could see him doing training camps with NFL teams, and you can go and see him do. So when you say not at that level, you're confusing me, and I'm just pushing back with the understanding of how you came to your conclusion. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just trying to understand the thought process that you're thinking that his technique and style as a yellow jacket. I'm trying to understand how
yellow
you
jacket,
came to that.
gold jacket or yellow jacket? What we talking about?
No, well, I have to say yellow. I have to say
you're taking
yellow
that man's jacket and you're decoloring that man's jacket? What the hell?
No, because that's what people do though.
That's good
what
one,
people do
jacket.
when it comes to Coach Prime. It's like he have a yellow jacket. When it comes to Sapp, it's like he has a yellow jacket.
All right, Panda, let him finish his thought because we got to move on. We got a lot to cover.
Right. I'm not saying he can't. Okay, let's make sure I understand. We got that. Not saying he can't. What I'm saying is, because again, I don't work with kids in that group on a level of trying to be elite as far as physical conditioning and stuff, and everybody doesn't always take the learning or the way that you coach the same. That's sometimes why these kids leave the schools, because they don't mesh with a coach. So the better that you can come at different angles to get them to learn, the better coach you will be. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he cannot coach. I clearly said that, you know, he has the ability to teach some awesome technique, fire, and still be able to give them like game, being able to have that sixth sense in the game of feeling, okay, here's what's coming, like Travis Hunter has. That's all I'm saying is that I think Coach Sapp will be great. Okay, Panda. I'm messing with you. But I want to see how, I just want to see how he navigates through the whole teaching, like bringing all these people in and getting them to mesh. That's where I'm coming from.
All right, so let's bring on Ron Tate and T Nolan so they can give their views, and then we'll go to the next one. Ron Tate, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Hello, guys.
Blessings.
Harry, let me get right into it, Harry. You know, according to where involving Warren Sapp, he's definitely going to play a large part and influence in those guys that want to get to the next level, especially when he talks about, you know, the 5 steps to getting to the quarterback from a defensive lineman position. You know, and you know, having 6 of the 18 still rated as 4 stars after they've signed with CU is, you know, I think on 247 and on 3, they probably didn't take a good look at those guys before, so they didn't have a chance to drop their numbers. I mean, their star. So I just think that with the coaching staff that we have, I don't know if I'm getting off topic or not, and the players that are coming in, we have a good chance of playing hard and having positive results.
Oh, you know what? I like that. I like that. But going back to what you were saying, I think remember we talked yesterday about buy-in, the buy-in. Now Sapp got the reputation, he's got the gold jacket, he's got the Super Bowl, all these now, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna know how to reach the kid. I believe that. I mean, he's been doing Sapp has already been coaching. He just haven't been getting any smoke behind him. Nobody been, we just haven't been hearing about it. But he knows how to reach him. And I think if they're able to, and this whole thing is going to be about our team, this team buying into program, not coming with your own program. You come with your own program, it's already over. But if we can get the individuals to buy into this, they're gonna be tougher. Because he's gonna give them some good, solid food.
But this is how I feel, though.
Panda, hold that thought. I got a couple of people to bring on. Overly Dedicated says, and the Buffs will definitely be in that 12-team playoff. All right, that's what we've been talking about. You're feeling a little bullish. That's what's up. T. Nolan, how do you?
He's not speaking for all of us.
T. Nolan, how do you feel about that comment right there?
How you doing, Harry B? How you doing, panel? I concur 100%. I think that not only will we be in the 12-team playoff, but I expect us to be in that top echelon of the 12-team playoff. You hear a lot of statistics. I know this is a statistic-based show, so we talk stats. Even when people think we're not, we're still talking stats and dealing with that. So whether it's On 3, ESPN, 24/7, and all these other guys, the stats that everyone keeps bringing, even some on the panel, which, the stats that everyone keeps bringing is outdated when it comes to Colorado. Understand something. Normally, and that's what Coach Sanders, Coach Prime is judged according to outdated stats. So you talk about from the recruiting aspect of that. When you go to a young man's house, okay, 99.3% of the time when you have a recruiter from one of your PWIs, your Power Fives, you have a white coach that's coming to a lot of these potential star athletes' homes, and 95+% of them are African Americans. But where's the relatability? You mentioned it earlier, Harry. Coach Prime comes as the one being recruited. He comes as the parent and as the coach. So he has, he's seen it from 3 different perspectives. And so what I don't understand is when people come with the outdated data concerning recruiting and concerning Colorado this year, they're still using that data and looking like, what makes Coach Prime, he can't recruit, he can't this, he can't that. How can you say that using outdated data when he has the advantage on every upper hand? And not only that, one of the things that he has in his back pocket is the relatability, not just because of skin color, but because he's recruiting the parents. As he says, often you recruit mama, you get mama, you can get the rest of them. Mama ain't gonna lie about her son, daddy will. But and that's something that the powers that be, or the professionals, if you will, that they don't consider. All they say is, okay, he's never coached on this level, he's never done this. Every level that man has coached on, he's won. Whether from pee-wee to grade school to up through high school and everything else. But in most people's minds, in the professionals' minds, it doesn't compute to Colorado, which makes no sense to me. Okay, let's use the same argument with any of the PWI coaches.
Keep it short, Nolan. We have a big panel. Try to keep it short.
Hey, Harry, Hey, Harry, I want to speak to a couple of things that he said real quick. It'll
Before
be
you
short.
do that, though, I gotta bring in the next topic. Then we can kind of move on. But we gotta keep it short, guys. We gotta try to keep it to your 30-second soundbite, please, if you can. But go ahead, speak on what you wanted to talk about.
Okay, it's not everyone. It's the pundits in the media. You know, I believe it's Lane Kiffin who's using similar. And a matter of fact, he started using that when he got his job at the school that he is at on the FBS level.
Ole Miss.
Well, yeah, he started using that same thing a little over a year ago when he came in. So, but they're not speaking on Lane Kiffin. They're only talking about Coach Prime. So it's out there. Coaches are using it, but it's the pundits that are saying, you know, throwing a little shade at Coach Prime. That's what I wanted to say.
Y'all was saying he was messing up the culture yesterday. I was listening to y'all.
What are you talking about? Panda, you don't come on this show and don't start nothing because you know what would happen to you, Panda. Don't even try it.
But you know what? The push has been pushback on recruiting that I've heard, even from our old three guys, is high school. Not so much the transfer portal, but they say he's not doing, and that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit with you guys. He's not doing enough recruiting in the high school. Because that is pretty interesting the way he's doing it. And it's not because he doesn't want to go heavily into the high school. That's not where the bread and meat is.
Well,
Coach
Prime has his formula. He's not going to go outside his formula. It's not going to be no more than 40-40-20. So unless he comes out and tells us that that's going to be more than that, I don't think he's going to go away from that. But guys, hold on for 1 second, guys.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
East Coast Cav, I got you. I'm coming on with. I'm bringing you on in a second so you can discuss this right here. We're gonna go. Let's take this guy, defensive lineman Aquin Barnes or Aquin or whatever it is from Alabama. Barnes didn't see much playing time in his 3 years at Alabama, but he was rated as 4-star prospect, 247 Sports out of high school, and I want you guys to talk about this because I know you guys are familiar with the other creators and how breaking news comes about. But again, we don't try to, you know what I'm saying? We don't try to hype everything here on this channel. What does, you know what I'm saying? What does an East Coast Cav, I want you to take this first. What does a non-player or non-starter from Alabama mean to a Colorado roster? East Coast Cav, welcome to the show, guy.
What's up? What's going on? What's going on? Can you hear me?
We can hear you clear.
You can hear you.
All right, hello, fellas. Shout out to you. Shout out to the chat. I think Aquin Barnes is really going to be depth. That's kind of what we were lacking last year. Not having too many depth players on there. I know we had Bishop Thomas. I think he got hurt. If I'm not mistaken, he should be coming back. Mm-hmm. So I think this play is more for depth purposes. Who I do like is that block bully kid, Chidozie. Mm-hmm. That's who I think is going to probably get that role. Chidozie and the other kid they brought. I'm sorry?
No, go ahead, man. I was just joking. I said it's Harry B's cousin.
Oh, yeah, that's African connection.
Yeah, but I really like him, man. He's a beast. Him and that Okunlola kid, that might be Harry B's cousin too, but
all of them are my family members. I told them to come over here. And
they my family too, brother. But yeah, so I think he's more for depth purposes in case, something go down, then he can go fill in, but I don't see him in a starting role, honestly.
Let's talk about
Can I jump in real quick?
Yes, Phil, I'll give it to you in a second. But I want y'all to speak about specifically, right? Speak about a non-starter or non-player. What does that mean when people see it around YouTube and they see breaking news, Colorado get an Alabama player? What does an Alabama non-starter mean to Colorado? Do y'all understand the question? Because I can break it down.
Yeah, I mean, I think basically.
Yeah,
okay, so let's Phil take it, and then you guys can chime in.
All right, real quick. So I'm actually a Bama fan. I keep up with them religiously, kind of like how you do with Colorado.
Bama not an HBCU.
I'm aware of that. I'm always gonna love my HBCUs more than anything else.
Panda, don't do it, man.
It's
Don't
Friday.
mess up my
It's Friday.
30 seconds, man. I'm trying to be respectful to the panel. I'm trying to get this out. So real quick. I hate to say it this way, but I don't think it means anything to Colorado because last year Colorado got DeMoy Kennedy and Jaquez Robinson on the defense, and neither one of them got legit playing time for Colorado. If you look at a lot of that specifically, if you look at a lot of backups that leave Alabama and go elsewhere, they never really make a lot of noise. So yes, it's good to have a body on the field and to have some depth, but I don't think he's going to come in and shock the world. I think he's just going to be a body. So I have to agree with East Coast Kev on him being a body.
Okay, so he's a body. Anybody else got any important thing? Okay, we move on. Like anything solid you want to add? Anyone?
Hey, yes, I want to add this.
Okay.
That I look at it a little bit different. Those guys coming from Alabama and Georgia, they're sitting behind probably a couple 5 stars, maybe another 4-star in the rotation ahead of them. So, you know, even if they had the ability to crack that lineup, I mean, they've got a long way to go. When they come to Colorado, they don't have that. So I think we have to look at it that way. We're getting good talent. It's just that they were sitting behind a higher ceiling than what Colorado has.
But that's
with
not
that,
true for Anquan Barnes, though. But go ahead.
but I would say I would challenge that being is that okay, how do we say all these players are coming in and Colorado is going to be 12-0 and Prime is going to win a national championships when there were players from teams that they couldn't even national championship teams that could not crack it. So how do you logically get to that 12-0 if that's the case?
But
Talk that
because
talk.
we
I don't see
understand
12-0 right now.
we understand talent, right? And we have tape and we trust the coaching staff and the recruiting team to do their job. What we did have before was proper personnel coach and put out.
Then let me ask you this then real quick before we move on. If that was the case of what we're saying, then how come
Haven't
can you hear me?
what's
Yes.
that?
If that's the case, then how come Coach Kelly left Alabama and didn't become the DC at Alabama? Think about it.
You know what Coach Kelly was known for?
Secondary.
His recruiting, his recruiting prowess, and the secondary, like Phil just said. His coming to CU is a promotion, but it was also strategic because he was the one finding the dogs. He was just on the championship team, so he gets the credit. But that doesn't mean he isn't a defensive mind and he knows what he's doing. Because when we look at some of the games, it wasn't a situation of the players not being in position. It was the players not making the tackles. So I want us to critique him fairly. So it's not a situation of him making bad calls.
Right.
Because even what you could even see like Coach Prime, like you was right there. Do your job. He going over to the guys. Do your job. And I just think we are bringing in some players who we believe can do the job. The other half has to come from the coaching staff. The reason why I pointed out coaching position coaches, because they control who sees the field. If Coach Prime is in game mode or assistant coach in game mode, they're not every single time asking where is that specific player.
All right, so let's go to defensive end, Quincy Wiggins. All right, another breaking news, right? Another breaking news. Oh my goodness, we got an LSU player. Oh my Lord, we about to win the Natty. We're winning the Natty.
You starting to act like CNN, man.
Come on.
Wiggins.
Please.
Wiggins, I can't stop laughing. Wiggins recorded 2 tackles in LSU's 63-7 win over Purdue in last season's Citrus Bowl. Y'all can have at it, man. Let me start off with somebody who's been quiet a little bit. Let's start off with hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. You know what? Who wants it first? Go ahead, take it, guys. I can't.
Wiggins, listen. Wiggins is the dog, But
What
Wiggins is
makes
a
him a
dog.
dog? What makes him a dog? One tackle
He's
or
a
two
dog.
tackles?
No. It's the fact that well, do we have any statistics on him? Or those are the statistics?
He got 2 tackles. That was your statistic. I'm
Two
giving you
tackles, that's it.
2 tackles is all he got last year
Well,
in the bowl game, in the Citrus Bowl.
we can't judge a man up for 2 tackles. That's gonna be tough to do.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can.
Oh, me.
No, as a defensive lineman, it's really not fair to do that because whether he's occupying a double team or taking on the blocks, a defensive lineman's position is if you can move that line of scrimmage back 2 or 3 yards or 2 or 3 feet, that's great, and hold it right there and let your linebackers and your secondary flow to the ball. Run stop.
Reset the line of scrimmage.
Reset the line of scrimmage and run stop your gap. That's
Clock
it.
that
That's
line.
his job. And he may not see the ball in his gap, but he may occupy his guy or may occupy 2 guys, which would be his responsibility. So sometimes the stats are not indicative of the ability of the defensive lineman.
Yeah. All right, so the chat is saying that Wiggins, Justin B saying Wiggins has good upside. I guess he was hurt. Wiggins was injured, so he didn't really, I guess perform or produce. But the gamble, according to Stevie Davy, is more of a gamble because of his upside. Does anybody know Wiggins and his upside? What exactly is his upside?
He went to LSU, so people think he got upside.
That would be my thing too. I would say, yeah. If he was good enough for LSU to recruit him, LSU ain't gonna recruit no slouches.
So that's what we're doing now. That's what we're doing, guys.
No,
we're taking everybody's trash because they're good.
We'll get it not there. We're getting maybe there. We're not getting their trash. We're getting somebody that they thought was good enough to play on their team. Okay, so if they're good enough for them to recruit them, I would say, yeah, I would take a chance on him.
So
listen, we are also getting bigger size players. We are getting more body in players, more height.
That's
players that are more athletic.
They were small on that line, man. They was real small.
So let's increase our football IQ. We can't just say we picking up people. We attack them strategically. And I think a lot of y'all
drinking that buffalo water right now.
Don't do that.
Panda, you on that buffalo juice?
I'm saying, man, the line was undersized last year, man. They were undersized, man. They were getting blown off the ball.
But
getting back to Wiggins, he has been rated.
One second before you continue with Wiggins.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw this out there. Y'all remember y'all was getting on 3 the other day when I played their tape, and their expert was saying we're getting big bodies. And all of a sudden now on Free for All Friday, now you're here talking about we're getting big bodies. What do y'all want? Like, y'all want your cake and your eat it too. Y'all gonna get on 3, but you're saying, "Oh, we're getting bodies." Now we're okay with bodies. Do I have to play the devil's advocate every Friday?
No. Wiggins is
for me personally.
Okay,
he's attacking it by position. He's attacking it by scheme. He's also attacking it by body. We do need bigger bodies on the line. That we've seen that. We didn't have players that were big and athletic, so we addressing that. So when we think about how he's doing it, we have to pay attention to what we currently have in the stable, the scheme that they run before, and how they're about to do it. So we have to be honest about it. They are better athletes coming in.
Okay.
And then there are people who are better dogs.
30 seconds, Panda. 30 seconds.
Well, out of everything, let me say this, Harry. Out of everything he just said, the last 10 seconds was the most valuable part. I mean, these guys are being they are being graded.
He fighting. He coming back with you. You know you can
listen. No
for Panda to fight you, please.
I'm an animal lover. Hey, no, listen. No, these guys have been graded. You know, you talk about Wiggins. Wiggins has a second round grade for the draft. I mean, that's pretty darn good for a defensive lineman. So not only like he was saying, and my point that I'm agreeing with is that the guy has talent. The caveat is he's taller than your cousin Harry B. However, he's got length and size, and he has talent. These guys have been graded by the professionals and given them a draft grade, which is something that we were lacking, that we didn't talk about last year in the transfer portal. That's one of the biggest difference this year, that these guys have NFL grades, the majority of them.
So
my bad. One more thing, Harry. My bad. Hey, they need to get a kicker too, man, because Jace Philly wasn't it, man.
Man, we got a good kicker.
When I said that,
like
people
Mata,
got upset.
man.
I said we needed another kicker. People were like, "No, we got Mata." Mata does a line drive style of kicking.
Baby.
Y'all want to jump into special teams right now? I mean, can I run this show? Or y'all just gonna just take over? Like,
you said free for Friday now.
Free for Friday, baby.
You're right. Okay, y'all. If y'all want to
be
jump
careful
around,
now.
I know. Keep me honest. Please keep me honest.
Let's do it, Harry. Let's do it. Let's get into those special teams. I'm ready.
I want to get into special teams, but I want to finish this list because you know why this list is important? Because there's breaking news everywhere, okay? There is breaking news everywhere, and I want this panel, and you guys know these people. Y'all seen, somebody's seeing them play, okay? It's not breaking news everywhere. All right,
all news ain't breaking news.
Right, let's keep them honest. Let's keep them honest.
But Harry.
Yes, sir.
But let's keep it a buck, though.
Yeah.
A lot of these players we haven't seen play because they're on teams that a lot of people don't follow and they weren't starters. So if we're going to be fair, we haven't seen a lot of film from these guys. I think the biggest thing would be is to look at those guys in the transfer portal that have actually had team time at their previous position, at their previous school, so we can really get some real college film on them.
Well, I mean, the transfer portal, we deal with the transfer portal, but we're dealing with these guys that are coming on because a lot of these guys are coming from the transfer portal, but guess what? They're breaking everywhere. So if you are watching this in, let's just say, because we got a lot of people watching right now, right? We get a lot of people who watch the videos because they can't join the live and they watch it after we're done. And these videos got a lot of information in them. So when you go to a different channel and you get breaking news, you come over here, we give you the truth. Okay? We're going to let you know this is a body. This is not no breaking news. This is a body.
Exactly.
But check this out, Harry. Check this out, Harry. First of all, I'm about so tired of breaking news. My screen done broke on my phone. I'm hearing it. But here's the thing. The thing about the portal that I'm seeing when it comes to bodies.
Shots fired.
That think about this. Should the portal be something like I need, a couple of pint of bloods, or should a portal be I need a organ transplant?
Can you break that down, please? Unpack that, because I don't know where the question's going.
All right. So here's the thing. What it seems to me is like we went and got a whole new line. So that's basically like I had a heart transplant.
Right.
And you got, but see, the thing is, but if you ever had to deal with people that have had to have kidneys or stuff like that, you can only deal with what's in the portal. And if you stay in that, then you might have gotten something, but now you stand to this point where when you get to a point where you're always doing a transplant, put it like this. Colorado fans want to look at all these things coming in as transformers forming together and just going around and kicking, everybody's butt. But
I want to respond to this, Harry.
Hold on one second. But it may just be a Frankenstein sometimes. And Frankenstein was uncontrollable. So that's what I'm saying, is that when you start taking bits and pieces, you don't know if you're going to get this big old strong Autobots, let's roll, or you're going to get the village coming with the fire, to burn it down. And that's my concern with it. I think they got some good people. It's just to a point of everybody's not going to be a dog. Some are going to be duds.
But then we have to ask ourselves, do we have any other choice? We don't have any other choice. We can't go to high schools. The high schools aren't ready. So that portal, man, do we have another choice? Give
No,
me
we don't.
another option.
We don't have another option. Go ahead, Panda. What did you want to say?
I was just about to say, given his perspective, that's sports all the way around. We talked about Kwame Brown the other day. So like you could be a star, you could be a 5-star, don't translate from high school, you could be whatever. It depends on the coaching scheme, the individual player, or do they have the desire to get to the next level and is doing everything it takes. Everything it takes to get to the next level. We cannot predict that about no individual unless we start seeing them perform. And unfortunately, I have to agree with Phil on this one. We kind of don't have tape on a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
am
but
trusting.
these are early conversations we're having. All right, we understand this. Hopefully, we're making it clear enough for people to understand that these are early. And when Joe Button says, Harry, you're going to eat them words at the end of the season, not everybody's breaking news. I mean, I don't know if you watch this season or not. This season, we broke a lot of news that a lot of kids did not turn out to be the breaking news that we broke. I was
Harry,
part of that breaking
For
news.
example, give me a breaking news that you didn't think was good last season.
Cormani McLean is the biggest one.
You're
He was never
freshman though,
supposed
man.
to
Come
touch the
on.
field.
But I'm
He
just
was never
telling you.
supposed to touch
I'm
the
answering
field.
the question. I'm just telling you.
That's not a realistic
What do you mean? It's not a
comparison,
realistic.
Harry.
He put the jersey on. He put the pads on like
Nah,
everybody
man.
else.
He a freshman too, man.
How many freshmen start in D1
Listen,
football?
I'm
I
just
need
saying.
a percentage, Harry.
Listen, I'm
You said
talking
this
about.
is the data show, and to keep you
Panda,
honest,
let me answer
how
your
much
question.
D1?
Let me answer your question, Panda. This is what I'm talking about. When you hype a player to a certain extent, like this person is going to come in, they're going to be a shutdown corner. They're going to be like Travis Hunter. I'm only saying this because this is the video that I made. Okay, I'm talking about my video, but I know other people that made even worse videos than I did. Cormani McLean was supposed to be the second coming of Travis Hunter. We were supposed to have a no-fly zone. I made a video, no-fly zone, and that was coming from other people saying this is going to be the second coming of Travis Hunter. We were going to have a plug-and-play player, and we were going to be ready to go. Now, can nobody touch us? We got another shutdown corner like Travis Hunter and Cormani McLean. And then what transpired was he wasn't watching tape. He wasn't going to come into meetings on time. We know that he can play, but because he wasn't preparing his body, his mind, and his soul the right way, the way that Coach Prime wanted him to do, he did not turn out to be that breaking news that we all set him out to be.
Hey, I got some breaking news, Harry. I got some breaking. Hold up! I got some breaking news.
Okay.
Travis Hunter at Jackson State as a freshman went through the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Hunter, Coach Prime was telling reporters that Travis Hunter would play when he felt he was ready.
Can I jump in?
And then he got nicked up a little bit.
Yeah,
but
one second, Phil.
Freshmen, they go through these things, growing pains. 18 years old. Hey, what do I have to do? As great as an athlete as Travis Hunter is, he studies it's that little thing extra that you do that gets you over the hump, that gets you, that makes you able to use your athletic ability at a high level instead of just being a body.
So,
Cormani,
please give me a second. I want to clarify this. 1 second we're talking about another player not being able to be transferable. Then the next second we're giving excuses for somebody else. I'm talking strictly on. Let's stand on the information that is presented to us, right? If we're telling you this is breaking news, this player is about to transform this team. He's about to do this thing, right? And for whatever reason, now he's a freshman. We didn't say that same thing about Dylan Edwards. I'm just saying freshmen go through it, but I'm saying the only thing I want to stand on, which is the business I want to stand on, right? It's the fact that the information that we sent out to the public did not return. We didn't have no ROI. There was no return on our investment.
But that's your fault, though.
But that's what I'm telling you.
That is the media.
That
is the media apparatus doing what the media does.
That's what I'm saying. That is my point exactly. I want to let us know that We can't keep breaking news and keep telling us, oh, this person is, because this person was did this and did that over there, they're gonna translate over here. That is exactly what I'm talking. That's my point exactly. It got to
But
go
that
across the
style of
board. We
content
can't make
creator,
excuses for anybody. I don't
Okay,
care if it's
okay,
Kwamani
Harry.
or anybody.
I got some breaking news for you.
But
And
hold
this
on,
is what,
let Phil jump in here before you give your breaking news. Go
Let-
ahead, Phil.
it's
right,
in
so-
line with
my
what you're
answer
saying.
yet
Right in
now.
line with what you're saying.
Let Phil go
So-
and then you can go.
Okay.
All right, so I'll try to be real quick. Two things. First, Frankenstein was the doctor, not the monster. A lot of people get that confused. Secondly, to the young man's to the young man's point about the getting blood or getting an actual organ donated. So with Colorado right now, they're in a situation where they need to overhaul the entire team. But if you look at a team like Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State,
Yeah.
schools like that, they use the transfer portal as what the cherry on top of that cake, right? So my hope is for Colorado, after maybe next year, Dion can say, okay, we have some young transfers. Now I can start to change that what was it 40-40-20 and maybe get a few more of those high school recruits and go back to more of the traditional recruiting way of doing things, and I think he'll be more successful. But right now he has to use the transfer portal to get a quicker return on investment, because I think he's trying to deal with more proven guys, even though we don't have a lot of tape on them, than trying to go with a guy coming out of high school.
Oh yeah, but
Now,
real quick, Phil. The underlying message was Dr. Frankenstein was the monster. Continue though.
hey, there you go. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it.
Breaking news. Back to McCarty. What's his name? McCarty, whatever. Back to McCarty. Kamari.
Come on, yo.
Back to Kamari.
Kwamani
Okay.
McLean.
I'm gonna butcher these guys now. I'm getting in a lot of trouble. But
It's all good.
back in Kamari's, and he is. I'm gonna say this and let our viewers know he is the second coming. But
No.
not yet. Not yet. I'll give him next year, and definitely his year as a junior. Okay, he is the second coming. He is the second
don't agree.
coming. He
I disagree as well.
Listen to what I'm saying. Just not yet.
We heard you. We
Yeah.
understand you.
Not yet.
And I am Mr. CU defender, and I'm telling you, he is a phenomenal athlete. Okay? But at the stage that he needs to perform on, he has not done what's necessary to show that he is that guy.
I
And unfortunately,
agree.
When you pick fruits, especially mangoes, before they are ripe, they don't taste good.
He's from the island, so he should know.
And I love mangoes too, man. Yeah.
And I'm gonna let the chat know I ain't afraid of any of y'all. And I'm not afraid of. I ain't afraid of none of y'all. Watch tape, do all this stuff. Listen, Kwamani is not him. I don't care what you say. Kwamani did not translate, so whatever. But anyways, y'all go ahead. I had to say that.
We'll see in 2024. We gonna come back to this. Remember this day, y'all.
Kwamani, listen. If this pressure gets him to play, then that's what we want. But as of right now, we had high school players that really did show up, and Kwamani did not show up the way he's supposed to show up, the way that we propped him up.
I agree.
Amari Miller, he showed up. I gotta give you that.
We have freshmen that showed up.
Man,
Amari Miller.
So, anyways,
I'll
be
personally
the bad
like
guy.
Bishop.
I don't mind being the
Bishop
bad
didn't
guy.
show up.
What I want people to understand is let's make sure that we're not protecting our stars. You know what I'm saying? And then we're not having the same energy for other players. If the conversation is going to be the conversation, let it be across the board. It doesn't matter who we like the most or anything. Let it be straight across the board. We have freshmen on this team that showed up that we didn't give as much energy as we did Kwamani McLean. If you don't agree with that, then go back and go watch it. Go watch your favorite YouTube channels. How much energy did Kwamani McLean get? And the other kids that showed up, who made a Dylan Edwards video? Who made a what's the other kid that showed up? What's the other freshman the
Amari Miller.
Amari Miller that showed up? How many Amari Miller and Dylan Edwards videos did we make?
Let me push back. Let me push back a little bit on that. Amari Miller had a phenomenal game. Then he earned his starting slot, and he did not regain that look that we all was fascinated about. Then Coach
Talk
Prime
that
said,
talk,
I
Panda.
didn't know he had it in him. He said, I didn't know he had it in him. So which means
Isn't
that
that
he
trust?
didn't
They're
display
wasn't
in
that talking about
practice.
trust?
And then when he got the opportunity to earn the starting job, you have to be consistent. If you're not consistent in the NFL, it's a problem. If you're not consistent in high school, it's a problem. So let's stop making these players superstars off of one performance. Kamani did a
Ain't nobody said
phenomenal
nobody's a
job
superstar.
breaking up the ball in the end zone against Rice Sun. That's it. I can say that as a CU fan, but as media, what we are doing and supporters, what we are doing is creating monsters, meaning that we are getting kids swell-headed who haven't put in the time.
Exactly, and that's
You
and
have
that
to do the
and
work.
Yeah.
Panda to
Your
answer
stars
King,
mean nothing in D1, bro.
Panda,
That's
Panda,
And I
Panda,
like the kid. I
Panda.
think
Keep
the
it
kid
30
has a lot
seconds,
of
bro. You
potential.
made your point. Relax. Listen to answer Kim P. So you really mad at yourself and content creators laughing out loud? Have I not made that clear? Have I not made it clear that I was part of that push for every player? But this time around, we're trying to make sure we keep it honest. We're trying to make sure we give the fan base something real on this channel. I'm not going to be a part of that group of people that pushes every player that does not perform. And I want to make sure that my assessment of the players are neutral, are solid information, and I give you, people that are on this panel for a reason. People are here to talk about, oh yeah, I saw him play. He's a beast. Somebody else said, Justin B said, yo, he's a freak of a nature of an athlete, and he's going to be able to translate once because he was injured. So that's yet to be seen. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that I want to go off of. I'm not going to break every news. I'm not going to break every player. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? I can't talk about that all day. Let's move on. We talked about Wiggins. We said that he was a good depth player, right? We all agree to that, panel?
So had high upside as well.
Okay, high upside
because
he was injured. We said Aquin was a good depth player, and he would be in rotation somehow, right? We agree to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're moving on to the offensive lineman Tyler Johnson from Houston.
Yeah, I agree to that. I just want to add one last.
Don't add anything yet.
The reason why Kamani had to play, we had injuries, so we didn't have depth. So we need the depth. We're talking about depth, so I want to tie it together. We didn't have the depth. Yeah. That's why he was forced to play. He didn't go out there because Coach Prime thought he was ready.
No, they took him out in Oregon because that other dude was getting smoked. Let's be clear. Back to the Oregon game.
All right, so can we can talk about Kamani? Let's add him to the conversation.
Yeah, but he only touched the field because of depth. Somebody was hurt.
All right, let me take this off the screen because I think Panda has a point. Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit, panel. I'm not gonna suppress it. We talk about depth. DEPTH is something that we've been pushing on heavy on this show, right? The reason why Kamani, first of all, I talked about trust. Y'all keep pushing back on me. Oh, Coach Prime, trust. Y'all said no trust, right? So when somebody makes a statement like, I didn't know he had that in him, what does that tell you? That doesn't talk about trust?
No,
you know what? He hasn't been showing it in practice.
It's consistent, and that's a problem that you have with freshmen. When because you don't have to study and do all those things, because everyone is an all-state player at the FBS level. Everyone made all conference at the FBS level. Everyone. You're not the best player on the team or the best player in the conference at the FBS level. You have to do those things that are going to get you on par, like Travis Hunter had to learn how to do. You've got to study. You have to understand that the techniques that you're being taught in practice translate to you being able to make plays in a game. As 18 and a 19-year-old sometimes have a problem with understanding or getting that through their head. And individuals such as cornerbacks, I mean, that's the toughest, the cornerback position, because you have to study schemes, you have to learn the defense, and you have to understand what a pass route is at every level. And you have to study. like Travis did. He studied. That's why he was able to get those interceptions. That's why they looked the way they looked, because he set that up days before the game. So the young guys, we're talking about Cromartie. I don't think we need to badger this guy as much as we are, because he's a 18-year-old. He came in late. He didn't even, come in early. He came in late or regular. He came in regular. And the consistency is not there. It's not habit forming for them yet. That's something that they have to grow into. And with a coach like Coach Prime, who knows what to tell them, who's experienced those things, they'll get it. That's 35 seconds, Harry.
30 seconds. Yeah, you took 30 seconds, guys. Let's get into 30 seconds. Panda, did you want to push back, or T. Nolan?
I mean, I just feel that overall, I think we have to understand what we're building and what we have and what we project. And I think sometimes when we talk about talent, I don't think anybody's here saying that he isn't a great talent. I just think even if you come late, if we critiquing it, let's be honest, even if you come late, there's an eagerness and a desperate. Man, you remember when you was in school, if you late, you hustling to get to class, you hustling to get to practice. We just didn't see that, not with just Kamani, with a lot of players on the team. I sent Harry a video earlier. The reason why I send it is to show that when overachievers are paired with people who are mediocre, it tends to have conflict in the locker room. And that's not my wisdom. That was coming from Coach Nick Saban. So there was a lot of things in designing a football culture at CU that needs to happen. So we really haven't seen CU football until the next season.
So Panda, I would say
I've seen CU football.
Panda, say that again.
We haven't truly seen CU football until next season. And to be honest, as much as I push back against Phil, we really not seen the football team until 3 years in. That is standard for any program. And as bad as this program was, what happens is in our fandom, we're excited because of the 4 wins. And I'm all 10 toes down CU. But I can critique from a football IQ. I think sometimes we separate the football IQ and go into fandom. And what happens is, what the point Harry's trying to do is, hey, these other channels is fanning a fandom flame. Just make sure we balance it with sound information. I have to respect that.
Don't try to prop me up when you're going over your time, okay? Don't try to give me no props.
I'm trying to do that, right?
And I'm gonna say this: I agree with you, Panda, on that, because the thing is, though, like Phil and Alabama fans, but I got love for Colorado. But it is a ton of Prince and Primettes. I mean, walking around cheering for Colorado because they are not willing to hear the objective stuff. They only want to hear is, "Yeah, you're the best. Give me a P, give me an R, give me an IME." Yes, and you got to. So what thing I will sit back and say is that the danger also is that talent doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to dominate. Look at Texas A&M. Look at Florida. Look at a lot of these schools that have had talent, and then some of them have had good coaches. But at the end of the day, it's putting it all together on the field. And again, I'm gonna stress this, and it's a brother on the panel. I forget your name, but excellent football knowledge and stuff like that. You know more, way more than I ever would. So my question to you, brother, is that, do you think that CU, because we talked about the talent, do you think CU has the coaching staff, like, for example, the QB coach to develop the number 2 and number 3 quarterback? Do you think CU has the staff to coach them up and develop them to be that national championship team?
I do.
I don't.
In plain and simple fact, I do. What happened is we didn't see it executed because we had a mercenary style coaching staff, meaning that, hey, bro, I just got this job. I got it after the enrollment period for the portal. Who you suggest that? Because the person that was supposed to be the offensive coordinator is the Arizona coach. if y'all want information. I don't realize y'all put it together yet. So he didn't go in with his guy. He went in with a substitute guy who turned out to be. This is me going off of a
Sabotage.
limb.
Don't
I don't
say it.
have
Don't say
anything.
it. Don't say it.
I'll
Okay.
say it's sabotage.
Okay. And at first, I was against Harry when he suggested it, but then I was like,
I'm a genius.
That Oregon defeat, it didn't sit right.
It is.
Harry crazy.
Yo, you 20 seconds over your time. I'm clocking y'all now. Stop playing with me, Panda. You're going too long. Let me bring East Coast Cav on to join the conversation again. He had to leave for a second. East Coast Cav, welcome back to the conversation.
Yes, sir.
So listen, man. Listen. I'm trying to guide this conversation in a direction where I want these people to get solid information. But people listen, we're not against any player. I want everybody in the chat to understand, and anybody watching this video, we are not against the players. We want fair evaluation. That is all we are doing. We are evaluating the players so that you don't get a heart attack and you don't break your television. We know somebody who's almost broke that TV on this panel, right? So listen, I want you to please understand, when you get this information and when the season starts, you will remember these conversations. I promise you. You will be like, yo, I see what they were saying there. I see why they were saying that. Because every time you get breaking news, you look into the information, you get excited because what's happening is we're telling you about these bodies. I used to do this, but I'm no longer doing this. We tell you about the bodies. Oh my gosh, we got a player from LSU. When you think about the LSUs, the Alabamas, or any team from the SEC or one of these big schools, the imprint that it leaves on your brain is like, wow, I can't believe we just got somebody from a Nick Saban or from a Georgia or from this. It just give you that imprint. They come over here and they lay an egg. How does that help you? It doesn't help you.
Yo,
Harry,
can I
I'll
ask
say
a-
this is that
Can I ask a
We
Listen,
don't
question?
have
people-
any guarantee though, Harry. You have some people, like he said earlier, who are playing in third stream just because they don't get the opportunity. We see it in the NFL. Players go to different teams and ball out. It comes down to the individual. So I don't want to at the same time go to the extreme and say they just bodies and fillers. I do believe if a scholarship is given to a player in D1, they earned it. So I'm not going to devalue players and say they didn't earn it, especially if they go into legacy programs that are established. For them to give up
31,
a scholarship.
32, 33.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't-
Panda,
Yo.
we're gonna take your Panda. We're gonna have to start taking your bamboo away from you.
Yo, Harry, can I
Ladies and
ask
gentlemen,
you a
this
question?
is a Panda perspective.
Go ahead, Phil.
So you want to have a conversation about depth, and you also brought up the word trust. The person that Deion trusts the most on this team is Shador.
Shador, how about
And
Right.
Travis.
My
And
question
and Travis.
and Travis, but to my point and my question is, how do you guys feel about Deion not finding an heir apparent to Shador because he's leaving next year? Is Colorado going to be able to be as effective and efficient on offense without Shador? It's great that he's
Yes.
getting edge rushers. He's great that he's getting DBs. Does Colorado have a guy on the team right now that can still win a ball game if Shador is not on the team?
Yes,
we
they
have
do.
Yeah, I think
we have
it's
I
gonna be
know they
Taylor.
do.
It's gonna be Taylor. I think it's gonna be Taylor, the guy from where did he come from? That came
Kentucky.
over. No, not Kentucky.
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt.
From
Vanderbilt. Yeah.
6'7", left-handed, can sling it. I believe, and this is Willie, I believe that he's gonna be the heir apparent because he's a sophomore now. Secure has what? He has 1 year to work with him. After that, he's done and he's in there. It's gonna
He
be
can
a battle.
sling it. He can sling it, but I don't think he's going to be heir apparent one. The guy from Kentucky is a pure quarterback. The one from Vanderbilt is a runner. He's more like a Tim Tebow quarterback.
No, that guy from Vanderbilt is a quarterback that has the athletic ability to run.
Yeah.
Look at his stats. I think he's got more yards on the ground than in the air.
Yes, he does, because you take individuals with that ability to run, and we focus on Lamar Jackson running the ball, and then we look at his passing as secondary, when all of a sudden you get a coach in there that wants to pass the ball with Lamar Jackson, and all of a sudden he's has one of the best passer rating in the NFL now. So
Yeah, push back on a little bit. Push back on that a little bit.
Well, hold on a second. It's the coach's perception
35,
of the athletic
36,
ability.
Don't do that, guys.
37.
Don't do that, guys.
Okay.
Y'all gotta stop doing that.
All right. Well, look, listen. That's and my other thing is, Harry B. You talking about the breaking news. Well, you know that's what the entertainment is set up now. They show Coach Prime's picture on a website and they get clicks. They say breaking news, and they get a click. And
We all do it. We all have to do it. Let me just answer that real quick.
That is the system that we have, but it takes something like this to say, hey, look, everything's not breaking news. It's not a superstar every time you sign someone. Yeah, somewhere in there, but not everyone.
Yeah, they make everything breaking news.
I yield back the balance of my time.
you took more time, so I don't know what you're talking about. So listen, let me bring on Tim to the show. Tim Smith, how you doing today? Welcome to the show.
Hey Tim, what's up, man? What's up?
Are you there, Tim? Tim had to wait for a little bit. Maybe he got himself muted, but I'll wait for Tim to come on. Guys, let's move on to the next
Hey,
player.
how you guys doing, man?
There you go, Tim.
What up, Tim?
All right.
All right, so listen.
What's up, everyone?
I want everybody to understand fully that we are in the media game. Me, myself, this channel, TLP Sports Club, we got to get clicks and views. That's how we eat, especially if you do it full-time like I do, all right? That's the only way that we eat, so everybody have to understand that. We have to do titles. We got to do thumbnails and stuff to eat. But when I say, hey, let's not make everything a breaking news, it's not me trying to say, oh, let's devalue a player. I'm not hating on nobody. I'm just trying to give the fan base information that you can stand on to say, okay, so he got a solid player in this player. It's not just like, it's every player is not breaking news. Like Jordan Seaton is breaking news. Why is Jordan Seaton breaking news? Because he was a 5-star plus, and he is the best in his class, and everybody wanted him. So Cromartie was breaking news, but Cromartie was breaking news because he was the best in his class. But the way that you discuss these players, the way that you bring them to the fold and you introduce them to Buff Nation is important. Make sure that you're responsible with the information that's given. Don't just say, oh my gosh, we're getting a beast. This guy's going to break. We're about to win the natty. Like when we start talking like that, then it makes me cringe, because I'm like, then I go back into my folders and I start looking at the data, and the data's not there. I don't see the data, and I'm like, it's not there. This is crazy. This is not breaking news. But I stop commenting on people's channels because people get into their feelings. When you talk anybody anything, they get into their feelings. But anyways, I just wanted to say that so people can surely understand where I'm coming from when I say I'm not trying to talk against YouTubers trying to eat. I just want the fan base to understand how to dissect the information that we're giving you and how
But Harry,
go ahead.
Are you basing this based on us going after building on what we have from last year? Because I understand that what you're doing in comparison to people overflating the fan base and getting them excited, and it might disappoint them in the end. I totally get that. Mm-hmm. But I also think we had to pay attention to the actual pieces he got to fit where, meaning that he's addressing the issue.
On the show, Panda, you know the answer to that question. Because what do we do on the show? Every show has a theme. We've talked about the pieces in depth. We've gone in with the defensive line. We've talked about the offensive line. We've talked about the new class, the signing day. You guys are seeing my screen right here. We've talked about all of these pieces and what they mean, and this is a continuation of that. So to answer your question, that's what I do on this show. I evaluate every single piece that we're getting, and then I say this is why or this is why they're not important. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think none of them that we got is not important. I think everybody that we got fit the need of the team that we have and we trying to build. We are
Well, yeah,
getting the
but
best we
that's
can
the
get
point that we
with
make.
our budget. What's that?
That is the point that we got to make. That's what I'm stressing. I'm stressing the point that you're making. I'm saying let's evaluate the pieces. That's why you see everybody having an opinion on each piece. So the next pieces that we're talking about is going to be offensive tackle Philip Houston from FIU. All right. So Houston played 2 seasons for former Colorado head coach Mike McIntyre while at Florida International. How important is this piece right here that we are getting? How important is Philip to our development?
What is his numbers?
Panda, you take it first.
I don't know what position he plays. I don't know much about him, to be honest.
Yeah, what is his numbers?
I don't have numbers on this list.
We gotta have the data,
He's a
baby. We gotta have the data, baby, on
three-star.
him so we can give you the proper answer.
Anybody
wasn't
knows?
rated-
Anybody knows about Philip? Can talk
I
about
can
Philip?
give you a little information. He wasn't rated out of high school. He was given 3 stars while at
FIU.
the college that he was at, and that's about it. I
What's
know
his
about him.
position, though?
He's an offensive tackle.
Offensive tackle Philip Houston from FIU.
We need him, and we happy to have him.
How many sacks? How many sacks have he allowed?
We don't listen.
And
let me remind you
that
of
we
what
got is better
Panda,
than
hold on.
what we had.
Panda, hold on. Let me give y'all the essence of what I'm doing. Remember the idea of what I'm doing here? This, as we started off, is one thing to know about each of Colorado's 18 and counting incoming transfers. That's what we're doing. One thing to know. Yeah. All right? Just so I can remind the panel. One thing you need to know about each of these players. We're just going into more depth. We're obviously going to, once all the dust is settled, we're going to go a little deeper. But right now, we're just talking about one thing to know, and then we're talking about it on the panel. Everybody's clear?
Hey Harry,
Yeah.
I got a little bit of information on him pulled up just from the FIU website. All it says is that he made 5 starts and appeared in a total of 5 games for the Panthers on the offensive front, and he registered a tackle on November the 12th. That's all that's on the actual school website for FIU.
He's a body.
So yes, as far as a player,
we know, yeah.
he's going to be a depth player. We're just going to call him a DEPTH player. All right.
And that's okay. Sometimes, sometimes, you need depth on the team. Everybody ain't got to be a dog. Everybody ain't got to be a leader. You need people that's going to go and do their job, period.
And some of these players might surprise you because it's all – y'all know how Coach Prime feels about practice, right? Yeah. Some of these players are coming in. We're calling them a depth player, but then next thing you know, they're going to break out because they show up in practice. These players are coming in. They're looking for opportunities. They know what they're stepping into. They know the cameras are going to be there. Coach Prime Television is going to be live. This is their opportunity to show up. They're talking to their families, their friends, and they're talking like some of us would talk. Brethren, I'm about to go up in there. I'm about to show up.
Harry B. Also, you think about it. Just like we're fans and we're watching, we're seeing all of these transactions that are going on with all of the new players coming in. You know who else is looking and seeing these? The current players on that team. Now, I'm going to say this. I think Cormani McClain going to have one of his greatest years ever. Him and a lot of people. Why? Their replacement is already standing on the green grass. And if you want to remain relevant on this team, your A+ game going to have to show for it this year.
Every day.
That's right. And that's what I'm saying. Competition. Look, when you talk about competition, when you talk about the guys that are going to be in that room with you and whatever your position group is going to be, those guys that are coming in, they already know what you know, and they're hungry. Those guys are not coming in not knowing the situation. You see what I'm saying? Like, they're coming in knowing, like, oh, I get to be on these videos all the time, and my stock goes up. So think about that. What do you guys think about the fact that they're coming in knowing that they're about to be on television or at least on the YouTube which dominates television all the time. What do you guys think about that?
All
Harry,
eyes on me.
Only the strongest dog will survive.
See, you come in with an attitude that no one knows about my bad habits. No one knows about me oversleeping. No one knows about me missing the meeting. No one knows about any of that. All they know is what I put forth now. I'm not that same lazy-minded or reluctant or selfish player I was last year or year before last. Now this is a clean slate for me. What they see in the beginning is something that I know that I'm going to be consistent with as I play out my career here at this school. This is a make or break year for me. I know that. No matter what my aspirations are, to be an all-American or to go to the league, this is a make or break for me. Therefore, Coach Prime has always teach competition. At those FBS schools that are in the upper echelon, every single practice is like a game because of the competition that they're going against. And that's the atmosphere that Coach Prime is trying to create at Colorado.
Let me ask you this.
Hey,
Is this a make or break year for Prime?
For who?
No.
Is this a make or break year for Prime?
Not
No.
at all.
No.
No,
They
man.
I don't
they
think
say it
so.
takes
Make a break year
Nah.
it
for
takes a
Prime.
minimum of 3 years to get your system in. And then
Who
year
asked
4
that
and
question,
5,
man?
and then 4 and 5, you go ahead and do your thing.
So you don't think you'll be in the hot seat?
No,
Who
too
asked
much
that
money.
question?
No.
If he was
Good
a
point.
terrible coach, too much money.
Too much money.
He
No,
can
'cause I
have
keep hearing that narrative.
losing
That's why.
seasons. He can go 5 straight losing seasons and ain't gonna be on the hot seat. He doesn't make. Listen, he made more money in his first year than most of these FBS schools make in 3 years
Amen.
with a
When
losing record.
I think,
when does the money doesn't matter anymore?
yeah, but
The
Money
money
will
ain't
Depend
never
on the
not
fan
gonna
base.
matter.
Money
Depend on the fan
will.
base.
It would always
Ask
matter.
the Cowboys.
Harry,
Ask
you
the
know
Cowboys
better.
and New York Knicks.
No. Ask Jimbo Fisher if the money doesn't
exactly.
matter.
And I guess my question would be in this thing also is that, okay, so we're hoping that he does well. And they get there and they're getting into the playoffs and stuff by year 3, 4, 5. Let's say it stays 6-6, or 7-6. And we're saying, well, they're not gonna let him go because he will, they're bringing in the money. Are you guys telling me you're gonna sit there and watch at year 7 a still 6-6 and you're still gonna stay glued to that TV
Yeah.
because it's Prime?
I don't think it's gonna
Yes.
I don't think it's gonna go 7. You said 7 years. I don't think it's gonna go 7 years.
I'm
No,
not
you know
saying
about
it's going to happen. I'm not
I'm
saying
just saying, yeah.
that at all.
I don't know.
I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is the people are saying, well, because Prime brings in the money. Because I'll tell y'all something I rarely share, but I'm gonna keep it straight with you. There was a reason why Coach Prime is on the same commercial with Coach Saban. That marketing, some tells me behind the scenes that they wanted to touch that market. So I get why people say, well, they don't want him to succeed. I would have to disagree, because how do you take a coach that was new, though he had a brand, and put him on the commercial with Coach Saban? That
Man, that
messaging,
question
that
don't even
outreach
make sense, man.
is a
Coach
lot.
Prime was a
Hold
brand
on.
before that, bro.
Hold
That
on,
question
brother.
don't even make sense, man.
You got to reverse that. You got to reverse that. Now,
Mhm.
Nick Saban
Well,
is the head honcho from the coaching perspective, but Coach Prime is the head honcho from the television and the media and the personification perspective. So they were helping each other. Now, because understand something, how many commercials did Coach Saban show up in before Coach Prime?
How many rings he got?
I understand that, but here we're looking. That's why I said you have to look at it differently. So why would he? Okay, if it's just based upon the rings, why do a commercial? Understand, the demographic of college football is changing, and Nick Saban is not stupid.
And listen,
I know, but what I'm trying to add in is what I'm also trying to say though is that we're saying his marketing value. I think he has marketing value, and I think that there
You
is
think?
a thing behind it.
You
I do
think?
believe. Well, I mean, I have to think. I can't. I'm not unthinking. I'm thinking. Well, Panda, did you say that?
Yes, sir.
Panda, let me ask you something. Do you keep your prime? Let me ask you. Do you keep your prime pom poms in the closet or under your pillow?
Uh-oh.
I'm messing with
It's
you.
getting
I'm
personal.
messing with you. I'm messing with you, Panda. No.
It's getting personal now.
It's getting
I'm
personal.
messing with you.
So
Y'all know I'm messing with you.
so
I'm messing with you. But let me finish this thought real
our
quick because I want to be
ability
under that. I'm messing with you.
Panda, let him finish.
Yeah.
Panda, you gotta let him finish.
hold on now.
Panda, let
You
me finish.
taking different type
I'm
of
messing
shots
with
now.
you.
Hold on now.
DC finish and
Yeah,
then Panda
I'm
can
messing
take
with
it.
you.
So DC,
Yeah, I'm messing with you, Panda.
go ahead, finish your
But I
thought
think
because
go ahead.
Panda's coming for you.
Oh, let's bring it. Because we just playing around. But the thing is, I think he will be successful. It's just that when I hear people say the thing of, well, it really doesn't matter what he do, or that's what it seems like, that's what's inferred, that people are going to watch. And I'm kind of like, okay, if you're at year 6 or 7, and that's 7 and 5 and 6-6, you're still watching. I'll yield so I can get the smoke from Panda.
All right, Panda,
How
go ahead.
much
Yes, they're still
football
watching.
programs have a 7-4, a 6 currently?
Yeah.
So and they fan base flood the stadium. We have the statistics to show your statement is incorrect. Then we talking about if he's marketable. We seen sold out stadiums before a 1-11 team play. So we have statistics and evidence to support that you are incorrect. And my pom poms is black, gold, and white.
Yeah,
Because
I love
I can
With some sprinkles
articulate,
on them.
I can articulate that the points that you're making is not based in fact. And we have the evidence to show. Now, the reason why I said we can ask or we could check Dallas or we could check New York Knicks, they understand that they can fill the stadium without a winning record. So we have a business model that has also shown that. So we have the business, we have the students that supply and reinvigorated by Coach Prime presence without the winning.
Hey, Panda, to
So
back your point
what
up,
you're
let
trying
me
to
back
say
up
is
your point,
incorrect.
Panda.
Now
Yeah.
the
And
person, the coach,
Panda,
he's not
let me
coming
back up your
into it.
point.
But
Panda,
Just-
you are 1 minute and 25 seconds. We gotta stop you right there.
let me back up. Let me back up this
Hey,
point
I
real
Harry.
quick.
appreciate the panel great spirit.
Hey, Harry, let me
Hey,
back up
Harry.
Panda's.
Oh,
Harry, let me back up Panda's point real quick.
All right, so East Coast Cav, go ahead, and then I gotta bring Tim in here.
Yeah, listen, it ain't no secret. I'm a Jets fan, and guess what? I've been
I'm a
calling for
Jets
years.
fan too, bro.
I've been calling for years for them to sell that team, but at the end of the day, they still gonna pack that stadium. They still gonna come to that show, and that's all I gotta say. Have a good day.
Hey, and I'm gonna say this. I agree with that.
So
I agree with that.
let me bring Tim on. Go ahead, Tim.
hey, I want to go back to the depth. I was listening to some of the statements and everything, and everybody, what I mean, pretty much spot on. But all these players that they bringing in here for your viewers to fully understand is all those players coming in are considered that. Every last one of them, from the transfer portal down to high school, until they touch the field and showcase what they can do. Because what they did in 2023 season may not translate into 2024 season. The film that on some of these guys that they displaying, that just show what their capabilities are. But to have this big stage and this big spotlight pointed on you, are they going to be able to handle it? Because everybody can't handle that spotlight. So that's going to play a part as well. But as far as the depth, everybody coming in 2024 is considered depth.
So let's clarify what depth mean, and because obviously we're talking about starters. We need players that can fill that gap because remember the statement that Coach Prime made: if you can't protect Shador, then we're gonna have another season like 2023. So the idea is we're supposed to replace the entire offensive line. So when we said depth player, we're adding that tagged to somebody who's not going to be an immediate plug and play player. So that there's a difference between that statement or that label versus you saying we just need all depth players. I don't know that that's the case when Coach Prime is making a proclamation to replace the entire offensive line. So that's why I'm like, okay, we need to clarify that as we look at wide receiver Terrell Timmons Jr., North Carolina State. Do we think that he's just a depth player or he's coming in to plug and play? Timmons is his average, an impressive 19.5 yards per catch, 14 total receptions in his 2 seasons at NC State. Do we understand the differentiation between just a depth player coming in or starter versus somebody who we think is an able body that can play if he shows up in practice?
Hey, Harry.
I think that players come in and play.
I got his information pulled up, and I'm just from last year. He had 11 receptions, 195 yards, 0 touchdowns, but he did average 17.7 yards per catch, and this was just his stats for last year. So it seems like he's more of a deep ball threat with that average. But again, this is a guy, not a lot of film. I don't know much about him. But it looks like if you don't want to use the word depth, he's going to be a person that can provide some competition in the wide receiver room.
Well, can I ask you guys a question?
Before you ask the question, let's clarify this a little bit more. Well, if he comes in, let's just say we have our wide receivers room is full, right? If he comes in and he can contribute, that's somebody that Shedeur is going to be able to say, well, I have another weapon. So we can use that term and we can say, okay, he's a depth player, or if he starts, then that's a great thing for Shedeur as well. But go ahead, Panda.
Do you really think we are wasting scholarships on people that we think that can't come in and affect the team? I think the way how we are wording it and the thought I'm hearing y'all dissect it doesn't make a lot of sense. We are in a deficit.
Too heavily into it, Panda.
No,
all
but
players are
at
not
the
scholarship
same
players.
time, though, I believe that depth players is a part of the game. But I don't want you to think
I just said all the players that are coming in are considered depth. Every player that gets drafted into the NFL doesn't mean that they're going to pan out based off of what you've seen them perform at the college level. Look at the quarterback from North Carolina. How many championships did he win with Nick Saban? What is he doing at North Carolina? That's what I'm saying. Just because you coming in, and I understand all the things that Coach Prime is trying to do. He's trying to accumulate starters. Yes, I understand that. He's trying to fulfill those gaps. Yes, I understand that, to get to 12. I understand all that. What I'm saying is, based off of 2023 season, going into 2024 season, 2 different seasons. Just because you had those stats in 2023 doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have those stats in 2024. That's just football in general.
Yeah. Yo, Tim, can I reword it for you? Because I think I understand exactly what you're saying.
Okay, go ahead, brother. Help me out.
Help me out.
As of right now, these guys are gonna have a jersey. Okay.
Correct.
They'll be on the team, but not everybody's gonna be a starter.
Yeah.
And to Tim's point, until they get on the grass, until they get in the spring camp and fall camp, and they earn their starter position, all these guys are just jerseys that's gonna be on the sideline until they earn that position. Is that the point that you're making?
Tim, I misunderstand you. I agree with that.
That's the point. That's the point that I'm making for the ones that are viewing, to have an understanding. Because I heard y'all talk about the media, and are we just hyping up everybody that's coming in a dog? No, everybody ain't coming in as a dog. Some may be able to come in as a leader, because we may need that leadership on top of being surrounded by dogs. And we talked about that a little bit yesterday with DC.
Man, y'all definition of dog gonna change during the season, man. Y'all gonna be talking about some puppies. But anyway, let's look at the.
Let me say add to what they're saying. This is one little piece. And remember this: whoever started last week may not start this week.
Last year,
It's going to be that kind of competition every week. Whoever started last week probably won't be the starter next week. Not saying the other guy's not going to play.
Last week or last year?
Last week.
No, last week. It's a lot of competition coming in, so every week it could change.
Every week. That's what I'm saying, sir. That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right. So on your screen, you guys are looking at hold on, let me go back to it. I just got off of it. Okay. Edge, Keaton, Wade. Now, Keaton, I would say the Wade brothers have been breaking news because of their contribution. What is the one thing that I want you to know, or that you should know? Wade transferred to Colorado along with his twin brother, Destin, who was a quarterback for the Wildcats. Now, Wade, he was breaking news. You guys know about Wade, and he's an edge rusher. We already know the need at edge. How much weight are we putting on Wade as an edge rusher, and how much is he feeling a need for us?
Great contributor.
He's not going to beat out Lundy. I don't see him beating out Lundy, and especially if the young man from Purdue comes, I don't see him beating out those two guys. But again, he'll add depth.
But we contradicting ourselves. We just said last year doesn't matter.
No. We got some great depth. He brings depth. That's what we're talking about, right? He brings that depth that we're gonna need. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Man,
but I mean,
my head did
but really quick,
you can grade players based on their previous performance. You can grade them based on what they did previously and what your thoughts are based on what we need. That's what we're doing here. It's early. It's not. We're not saying that these players are going to be anything more than what we're saying. We're just grading them based on their performance and what our immediate need is.
So 90% of what we're bringing in was better than what we had.
Oh, yeah.
But listen,
everybody can't start. Everybody can't start.
Panda, you never Panda. Panda.
Anybody want to debunk that?
Panda, listen.
Oh no, no.
We're breaking it down. We're breaking it down because we obviously have a mandate from the head coach. Coach Prime made that proclamation that everybody's getting replaced on that line because his son was getting killed. So we're trying to break it down based on that information that we're getting right now. Okay, so if we can't blanket statement it because we got individuals that we're talking about. Now, Phil just said that DJ Lundy, who is a linebacker, well, is he now we were talking about an edge rusher. You're saying that he's gonna be taking Wade. Wade is not gonna start over DJ. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't think he'll start over DJ. Just based off what we've seen, because real quick,
are they both edge rushers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because at the very least with DJ, we've seen 4 years of him playing. We have a larger sample size. Wade, if I'm not mistaken, is a sophomore or a redshirt freshman. So he only really has this year with enough footage to kind of talk about him, or enough stats to talk about him. I'm not saying he can't be good 2 years down the line, but if we're talking about instant starters, I think Lundy is going to be that guy.
So that talks about that DEPTH that we keep talking about.
Yeah.
Remember last year we didn't have DEPTH. We were duct taping the team. Coach Prime was scrambling, trying to figure out, man, who can play? Who's a dog? I don't care if you're coming on. If you are special teams and you can do something, just come on, let's go. So we're answering questions of DEPTH. That answers that question as well. Y'all agree?
Yeah, but that's a good problem to have, and that's what Coach Prime said that he was going to do. Next man up. So if you got your next guy up that's just as good, not better, but just as good, you shouldn't miss a beat. And both of these guys came out of the SEC.
Yeah.
All right. So, so for the people that are out there that are listening, when you see this type of information, that's how you look at it. We're adding DEPTH because
last Florida year, in the SEC?
What's that?
No, Florida State's the ACC, not SEC.
Well, that's what he just said. I know.
He misspoke. He misspoke. We can give him some grace.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I wasn't in a graceful mood, but I'm
just a little bit. We give him a little bit.
Who's the LSU guy? That's an edge rusher as well?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
All right, so We're gonna move along quickly. You guys kind of like, just chime in one or two words here because there's 30 seconds. Y'all killing it. Panda's giving like 2 minutes now, so just give me a quick. Let's go down this list very, very quick. You just give me a quick opinion. You know what I'm saying? If you can, if anybody can, right? So we've done Wiggins already. We've done offensive lineman Tyler Johnson from Houston. Did we do Tyler already? Oh, he was named the third-team All-American Athletic Conference. What do you think about Tyler Johnson? If anybody knows Tyler,
Based on what I've heard from the O-line at Houston, that O-line at Houston was pretty tough. So, and I think he's one of the guys that coming in. I think he was a starter. I think he was a starter. He's gonna be coming in looking to start. I think I'll give number 50 high marks. I'll give him high marks.
and I believe Alton McCaskill should
Yeah.
know him. So
Yeah.
if anything, Alton has already given the I guess the AOK from coach and let him know, like, hey man,
Yeah.
that's somebody that we know. So all right, let me see. My screen is spazzing.
Does the record count?
Say that
Not
again?
negating that they dogs, but does the record of their team count?
I think they won. They think they won. I think they
Not
did.
really.
They didn't win. Houston didn't have a winning season.
Well, you
Same
can't
record
say
as
that.
Colorado, didn't they?
I mean, the record don't count in a situation. If you don't have a good quarterback, you can't move the ball.
That's true. Yeah.
So,
Right.
granted that we have a better quarterback that we are thinking is a Heisman quarterback, we are projecting that with a better O-line, we have a better production. So he is better than most of the guys we had. Thank you.
Yeah. I agree.
Isn't that kind of contradictory then to who was a quarterback out of Vanderbilt with his stats? Then aren't we not giving Will Shepherd enough credit then? Because
He
if
wasn't
he's
the
so
starter.
great,
He wasn't the
well,
starter.
okay, again, with the numbers that he had and threw up, more rushing than passing, but we say that he's the heir apparent.
But it all
They
depends
said
on the
I didn't say
scheme.
that. I didn't say
It all
that.
depends on the scheme that they had him playing in. Also, there's so much
Yeah.
factors that add in to stats. Is the run,
There's so
is
many
the
things,
play
yeah.
design, the scheme, like the philosophy of the team. We are pass heavy philosophy. If you're expecting the running back to go crazy, I don't want to disappoint you, but it's a Heisman run for Shador. Let's get that in our heads. But in
Don't-
order to
I
do
didn't
it,
say
But,
that.
we have to run the ball.
but these words. Hey, look, these words came out of Coach Brian's mouth. I'm gonna hold it to it. He said, stop the run and run the ball. Stop the run.
You
and
heard what I
run
just
the
said?
ball.
It's a
I heard
Heisman
you.
run for Shador. The
I heard
only
you.
way to get there is to run the ball so he
Okay.
can air it out by creating a
I'm
balanced
sorry. Yeah.
offense.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm
So-
getting
sorry.
to
You
my
did.
30 seconds. I'm
You-
maturing.
You did say
real
that.
quick, Panda. I want to ask this question specifically to you because you're talking about Shador having a Heisman run. Would you rather
Mhm.
Colorado be more run heavy this year, if that means that's their key to success, and Shador maybe not have all the accolades, if that means CU is going to be in the 12-team playoff? Because I think we got to get away from focusing on certain players getting their stats and just getting a win. Because if you want to, some of the people in the chat talk about daddy ball with Dion showing favoritism towards Shador and trying to throw the ball so he can pad his stats. If we get away from the idea of daddy ball and have a more well-rounded team, that should equal more wins. More wins gives you a chance to get into the conference championship. Conference championship gives you a chance to get into the 12-team playoff.
Listen,
I do not subscribe to the daddy ball concept.
Me
The
neither.
reason being the quarterback is the driver of the team in any team. In this case, it just happened to be his father. But to answer your question specifically, I believe the smartest way to do it is to win games, which means that the run have to be effective. Winning games also makes the conversation about Heisman easier for swallow because you got to remember he also receives the prime tax as a quarterback. because his stats was way better than a lot of people on the Heisman finalist list. So that's just a factual thing. So
And
we
if
Yeah, the
have to
Heisman.
wait.
and if that boy is not allowed to throw that ball, if for people that's complaining about daddy ball, that is so sickening. But if that boy is not allowed to throw that ball, we're not going to have a winning season again.
Well,
I'm
I
going to
Then what's
say
the
that
point of bringing it?
boldly.
let's kind of speak
What's the
on
point of bringing a
facts
new offense
and
then,
what
though?
But
I'm
the
saying
reason for
if
the
he's not allowed
offense,
to throw it, that's what I'm saying.
the
If he's not
the
allowed to
reason
throw it,
for the offense improvement is to give you the O line that creates that better chance of him settling in
precisely.
the pocket. He is a pocket quarterback. He's not a mobile quarterback. I know he made that statement. I think that's in entertainment purposes, but I'm gonna keep it real. He is a Brady style quarterback. In the pocket, step up. If I could scramble and get you 5. That is his style of play. The problem we have with him is how he sells the run. He holds the ball to the 100th of a second because his dad gave him the ability to check out of the play. I'm saying in order to counteract that, we have to run. So I'm not here saying give him the ball 100% of the time. The reason why we played like that last year is because we were behind most of the time. We were behind because the defense couldn't stop the run or the defense were terrible. When you have Shador, a safety, the highest tackler on the team, you have a problem. The defense just was able to shine in the later end of the season.
okay,
So
can I
the
try,
reason
can I
why
get
I'm
in here?
breaking that down, he had to
Can,
throw. You cannot run to catch up when you 2 touches down. You have to throw the ball. We're talking about game management,
30
position
minutes,
on the
30
field.
seconds. 30
Yeah.
seconds.
okay, listen, I want to interject a little bit. When you're talking about daddy ball and him holding the ball, I think what he was trying to do was make plays when he knew that the offense was struggling. Hopefully this year we won't have that issue. We'll be able to run the ball a little more effectively. That has nothing to do with daddy ball or him being a pocket passer or a passer that can run. It's the design of the offense is to win the game, and as it's going to change this coming year, we will see that the running will complement the passing attack of CU. And I think that's what we're all looking for, a little more
Yeah.
balance to take that pressure
Eh,
off of the quarterback.
Yeah.
50
My
seconds.
my
You're up.
only my
Sorry
only
about that,
point
Happy.
my only point is I think we need to get away. And now I'm starting to say we. I'm not even a bandwagon bull, but we
What?
Okay,
Why are
that's how
you
we
it works.
talking
That's
so
how it
much on
happens.
here? What the
Man,
heck
you
is
already
going
been
on?
baptized,
You,
bro. Too late.
you're
it's
an
all good.
honorary buff, brother. You're
I,
an
Nah, he been
honorary
I'll
baptized.
take
Too
that.
late.
I'll take that. But we on this channel, I want us to get away from talking about accolades and talking about stats. If the only thing that matters is wins and losses, if Colorado has to run the ball 100 times and Shador don't pass the ball, but that means they're going to win every game, and that should be the only thing that matters.
Good luck
That's
with
the
that.
point that I'm making.
Good
I
luck with
agree.
that.
I
That's
agree.
never going to
I
happen.
agree. But that ain't exactly. That's not gonna. That I don't think that's gonna happen. Not with
That only
Colorado.
We're,
makes sense if the
Not with
team is a
Shador.
running team. They're
Panda,
teams
how
I,
you
that are
I,
jumping
I,
running
people's
I,
teams.
turn?
hold on, listen. I
Panda,
think
you
we're all
can't be
smart
jumping
enough.
people's 30 seconds, Panda. Come on now.
I think we're all smart enough to understand the point that I'm making.
Yeah.
So I
Yes,
will
sir.
receive your
Yeah.
pushback, but you get the point that I'm making, man.
I just don't
Just
want
go
you
out
to
and
be
win the
right,
game.
Phil.
Yeah. We
Go
got
ahead,
you.
And you
Willie.
know what? Get that hate out your blood, baby. Get
I
that
know.
hate out your blood.
Hey, the tennis channel. Go ahead, Willie.
Look, man. I mean, the way he's putting this thing together, I'm really impressed with that. I remember him saying clearly, run first and stop the run. That means all of this stuff is incorporated in what they're going to do. That's going to be consistent with us, like the brother was saying, consistent in us winning. We got to win, man. We got to win. We got to find a formula to win these games, to play these games, and I mean, and just go out there ready to play. Go.
Right on
I
time.
don't want you to get disappointed, but that ball is going to sell. That's it.
Well,
Oh,
listen,
it's gonna be in the air for
it's
sure.
going
I
to be in the
believe
air.
that.
Like
Yeah.
the ball is going to. That's how Coach Prime. Coach Prime airs the ball out. I mean, it's obvious, but we just hoping that he mix in some runs so that he can balance things out, so that he's not so easily picked off. So, as far as throwing the ball, Coach Prime is doing a lot. He's making a lot of changes to make sure that Shador has the opportunity to throw that ball. So, I don't see any scenario where we don't throw the ball this year. But to Phil's point, I'm not satisfied yet that Coach Prime, and y'all can hate me for this. The fan base, all of y'all can hate me for saying this. I am not satisfied yet as 100% to say that Coach Prime is bought into winning other than Shador. Because what Phil just said, where if you are a Colorado fan, right? Remember Coach Prime, if you're a Colorado fan, you would take a W any day, right? But how many of y'all real Coach Prime fans and real CU fans can actually say that Coach Prime, if Shador could not throw that ball and we can still win, that Coach Prime would still do that? Can anybody say that fairly?
This is what I can say. This is the tennis channel. This is what I can say. And I guess I listen to more what Coach Prime say, probably than what he says. He said, if I'm going to win a game, now you guys probably heard him say this, I want the ball to be in Shadur's hand. If I'm going to win it, if I'm going to put my money on anybody,
that's because that's not what I'm asking. Because he's the best player. When you want the ball, like Phil Jackson wants the ball in Michael Jordan's hands. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, are we bought into understanding the aspect of Coach Prime's coaching style? Understanding, like, okay, I want CU to get the W regardless of who has the ball. Regardless of if Shador has to throw the ball for us to win, I'll do that. But if we have to run the ball to win, I'm also willing to do that. Can anybody on this panel or even in the chat, you guys can chime in. Can anybody truly say that that's the case? That Coach Prime
I can say that's the case.
Can you expound on that? I don't see it like I because he was the coach that led us into 2023 when Shador was getting pounded and we didn't see anything else other than Shador getting pounded. So then how?
But I just explained that to you.
What leg
I
are you
just
standing on?
explained that to you, though. I explained it because our positioning on the field and us starting the game down consistently put us in a position where we had no choice but to throw.
That wasn't always the case, though. That wasn't always the case.
So check this out, Harry.
Without the first 3 games we talking about.
We were in almost every single. I watched every game closely.
Mm-hmm.
We were in almost every single game, with the exception of maybe a few like
what
Oregon,
brought us in
USC.
the game.
We were in every single game.
What brought us in? Was the run brought us back into contention or passing the ball?
Then that mutes your point. That mutes your point because you said that the only reason why we did what we did was because we were always behind.
So check this out, Harry.
I'm explaining to you how we end up losing by 6 points.
Let DC chime in and then you can take it back.
So here's the thing I saw when Coach Prime was at, again, y'all know I went to Alabama State. The thing I saw what was going on with Prime at JSU. Even when they were way up on FAMU, Shador was still in the game throwing the ball. People forget that the reason why Coach Eddie Robinson was pissed off is because it was near the game and Coach Prime was throwing the ball. So because they had already just basically had called all their timeouts and stuff like that. So that's why I got to give credence to what Harry is saying, because if you look at it, even when they were way up, Shador was in the game like third quarter, fourth quarter sometimes, and they were all the way up. There was no way that other team was coming back.
Do you have that same energy for Oregon? Do you have that same energy for Alabama? Georgia?
I have that same
energy for Alabama.
Well, I'll answer you. I'll answer you. Absolutely, I have that same one. But we're not talking about. But hold on one second. We're not talking about Oregon, and we're not talking about any. But right now, we're saying that I'm saying
you just made a point, and I gave you 3 teams that did the same thing.
I just answered
But
your
that doesn't make it
question.
right, though. But that doesn't make it right.
Come on, bro. We
Exactly.
playing football,
Exactly.
yeah, man. Let's stop playing sensitive football, man.
Nobody's playing it,
Let's stop
but
doing
I'm
that.
answering Harry's question because I'm answering you. You're very specific, just like me. I'm answering Harry's question as asked and validating that. Now, it's his right to keep Shador in for the whole doggone game, and they're up 115-0. He can do whatever he wants. But I think there is a point of saying, okay, what happens when there's a balance between get Shador numbers or just run the ball, run the clock out, and live for another day?
You base JSU whole season off of one game. If you know anything about JSU, they was running the ball.
So
You want to
okay,
make
I do know something about JSU. I do know something about JSU.
Hold on, guys.
So
Let's
were they a run heavy
Panda,
team
give
or
me a
pass
second.
heavy?
Panda, let me run the show. Panda, listen. Joe Perry, thank you so much for your super chat. Joe says you guys didn't watch Coach Prime at JSU, which is Panda's point right now that he's making. They had a 1,000-yard rusher. Shador had his best season. 40 passing touchdowns. CU is going to run the ball. Panda, continue.
Okay.
Go ahead, flex on that. I guess you got the right to flex.
Good job,
My
Joe.
football IQ is kind of decent. That's all.
But what I'm saying is,
let me say this. Let me say this because you guys have been talking about Coach Prime and Daddy Ball and all this. You know, one thing that Coach Prime said after the season that he was going to do a little differently. He was going to do, if he's going to lose, he's going to do it his way. So I think the offense, he relied on his assistants to do their job. I think this year, if there's something that he doesn't like or something that they're not doing, I know he's going to chime up and not allow that assistant to have autonomy like he did this past year. Yeah. Coach Prime wanted to run the ball this year.
So why didn't he?
The scheme and the system that he was presented with would not allow him to run the ball. The people that were teaching those offensive linemen,
I push back 1,000% on that.
Yo, Harry, can I jump in real quick?
You just put up what Perry said to make my point. Coach Prime believes in running the football. He believes in running the football.
An easy debunked would be, bro, he's the head coach. So if you wanted to run the ball, his scheme then presented. Are you telling me that he wasn't the head coach?
Harry, I'm telling you,
he was the head coach,
Prime,
but he allowed his assistant, the offensive coordinator, to run the offense.
Coach Prime is running an NFL-style football program. I think that's what he's trying to explain. He's running an NFL-style program.
I get it, but we can't let this guy off the hook and say and put the blame on everybody else. Oh, he didn't have the scheme. And I mean, I'm a Coach Prime loyalist, but I'm not going to let him off the hook and put the blame on everybody else. When you're the head coach, everything falls on you. And I'm sorry,
Coach Prime fault that players was getting penalties and that the defensive coordinator had 12 men on the field.
Everything is his fault. Every single thing.
But if he wins, it's the players won.
Because systematically, Harry B, what you're saying is 100% correct. The ball stops at his, at his lap.
Well, every other coach does.
You're 100% correct. However, when you're running when you're the head coach of a team and you're running a program, you allow your coaches. You're not in every room, every meeting room, unless you have something specific to say. You explain what the program that you want to present to your team, and you allow your assistants to fulfill their part as far as bringing this program to fruition. And I think last year there was an issue, and Harry, I told you give me your phone number so I can call you and tell you all my grassy knolls and conspiracy theories about last year. But I'm telling you, Coach Prime runs the football. That's part of his. And he didn't do that last year. Maybe he's thinking he didn't have the team that could do that. But it was scheme. You look. Short for
30 seconds.
Hey, Harry, can I say something real quick?
And ran a trick play. So there are ways of running the ball.
Ron, respect the 30 seconds, brother.
Okay, sorry about that. Darn, that's that Panda stuff in me.
Tim, you're back.
I ain't in you.
Yeah, let me say something real quick.
Tim, you're back. Tim, go ahead, and then we got to get Phil in here.
I mean,
Thank you.
I didn't said a few things uh in a couple of your shows, and I'm gonna tie it all in together.
Uh-oh.
Prime Prime comes from a state that air the ball out. Texas football is put the ball in the air. They run it. They do have a balance, but for the most part, they're gonna put it in the air. There's another thing that I want to say. It was he got a lot of hate about, oh, his son can't do it at the Power 5 level. Okay. In my mind, even though he had a line, I don't care what type of line he had, he could have made that defense respect the run in some type of way. He didn't even attempt to do that. I felt like he wanted to showcase that his son can play at the Power 5 level. I hear people say, oh, yeah, he's a dad. Yeah, he is a dad. But I feel like he tried his best to separate the two, coaching and dad. But at the end of the day, he is a dad. So I feel like they could have ran the ball more. They just chose not to. I think that he didn't trust his offensive line enough.
That's what Tim. Let me let Phil get in here, and then I got to unleash my wrath, because I don't know that people understand where I be coming from when I with what I be saying. Phil, go ahead, please, before I unleash this wrath.
All right, so I'm gonna try to keep it real quick. So I don't think we're gonna know, to your initial question, I don't think we're really gonna know how Deion is willing to go about winning a game until Shador actually leaves, because I think whether he tries to or not, he's going to coach the team differently when your child is out there. Either you're trying to protect him or you're trying to uplift him. And then my second part is, I'm with you wholeheartedly. The buck stops with Deion. He always said, oh, I was on the headphones. They made the right calls. The player didn't execute. How many times have we seen Nick Saban on the sideline in DC? You say you're a Bama fan, so you understand. How many times have we seen Nick Saban cussing out Lane Kiffin when Lane Kiffin was there saying, run the freaking ball, right? So as a head coach, every single thing that happens on that team goes back to you. So if the scheme was set up to where they weren't going to run the ball, Deion was aware of that, and he should have stepped in and did something about it. So I'm interested in seeing what happens this year when he decides to be more hands-on.
Yes,
See,
so
you have
no, Panda, you don't get to
358
do that,
rushing
Panda.
attempts.
Panda, stop. Panda, you got to stop. Listen, listen. Listen. When I say everything rises and falls on Deion Sanders, people get mad, as if that's not how life works. Period. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Okay, but when you say that for Deion Sanders, it's like the world loses their crap. Like, no, he's not. No, this is what he does. I mean, if you're the head coach, okay, if you're the head coach and everything doesn't rise and fall on your head because you're Deion Sanders, then what are we talking about? What is the point exactly that you want to discuss? Where do we want to go? Are we just Deion fans, or this is a football program? I feel like this is no longer a football program. It's the Deion show. When can we talk about what's really real? It's not the Deion show. Deion Sanders is the head coach at Colorado, and everything will rise and fall on Deion Sanders. Just like Phil just said, come on now, we know coaches on the sideline yelling at their. If you watched, remember the Titans, y'all remember Denzel yelling at his either defensive coordinator or and he was like, "Yo, either run the ball or stop somebody. You ain't stopping nobody." Y'all remember those lines? You know what I'm saying? Like, the head coach is the guy that's supposed to step in and not be all dumbfounded when stuff is happening. You can't go. You got the biggest microphone in college football. You're going on you're going on press conferences and you're throwing everybody under the bus. But we can't hold you accountable.
Harry, no, bro, he didn't do that. Let's be
Stop.
accurate.
Let me finish.
Let's be accurate in
I'm gonna give you the microphone, but let me finish my thought. You're telling me, you're saying, oh, we're one-dimensional. You get to say that because nobody else get the microphone. Nobody else gets the microphone. You are the head coach. Nobody else has that microphone but you. You get to say we're one-dimensional. You get to say we need to give Dylan Edwards the ball in open space. You get to say we're not using Dylan Edwards the right way. The same way that you get to say all of those things, you are the one that's running this program. So you're supposed to be able to tell us why you're not doing it. I don't care if you give autonomy to anybody, to everybody. Oh, I'm Deion Sanders. I don't impeach on anybody's ground. Nobody cares about that at the end of the day. And I'm going to repeat that. Nobody cares about that at the end of the day because you're the leader. Okay? This is your decision. This is not our decision. So all we want to see is W's and L's. What is it that tell me what the state of Colorado football is as you are the head coach. We can't hold you accountable. Is that what it is? Fan base. Can we not hold Deion Sanders accountable? We didn't run the ball because Deion Sanders had a bunch of excuses. What was the real excuse? Why did we not run the ball, Deion Sanders? This is a football question. Why is it that it's okay for the other fan bases to ask their constituents, their leaders?
That's not what y'all doing, though.
Let me finish, though.
Yeah.
Why is it that they can ask those questions, but we cannot ask Deion Sanders the question without somebody unsubscribing to my channel? Why is that?
Harry, I agree with you, but then I'm gonna give you a slight pushback.
Yes.
I'm a slight pushback. And when you're talking about leadership, the person that's in charge, going to get the blame no matter what.
Yes.
I've heard people blame God for things that he had nothing to do with. Oh, but he's in charge. He made everything. He created everything. Why didn't he stop it? And God is looking at him saying, I had nothing to do with that. So that's just a slight pushback. And I agree with you, yes. But and if you're being really hardcore about it, yeah, I'm a leader, okay? And I know that at the end of the day, the buck stops at me. I say, God, these people gonna kill me because I'm the leader. But that's how we are as humans. We're like that. We want somebody to lead us. And if you ain't leading us right, well, you're the leader. What didn't you know better? Yeah, but I don't know everything. I've heard Prime say many times, you know what? I made a mistake. I should have did something else. Okay. We understand that. Yeah, we understand that. Those of us that are here understand. You got a lot of people right here. DC, you're in leadership. You're in the military. If at the end of the day you have a superior, and somebody's under you, things don't go right. They're gonna say, well, what they're gonna look at you. So that's part of it. And
let me push back a bit. So what y'all are describing is forms of leadership, not lack thereof. There is a style of micromanagement that our culture is accustomed to. Leadership also means empowering people to do what they do well so they can be effective. What happens in leadership when different parts of the leadership team fail, the leader gets the blame. So
I agree.
We are not saying, hey, he's without blame. My critique or my pushback is y'all are speaking on style. This is Nick Saban's style, to yell at the guy in front of everybody. Some coaches pull players' helmets, and that, even at some point, that was football that we love in our age bracket. Not every player responds to that as we go forward. So you have to make a distinction between style and leadership as a governing body, because on the field, they are leaders on the field. So the leader of the defense instructs the players of, hey, this is the play. Watch the gap. They coming through the gap. If you there to plug the gap and don't execute, you drop the ball. But in dropping your ball, the leader of the defense get the blame. And that transcends up to the defensive coach, that transcends up to the position coach, all the way back to Coach Prime. So I'm not saying that Coach Prime or the team coaches in general made every position, every play, or every decision correctly. If that's the case, they will be undefeated. So
But
that's not the problem.
the
I'm saying
pushback. But the thing
that.
I would say, Panda, is that
Mhm.
I get what you're saying, and we're kind of like semantics, and you're making a good point. Another brother made a good point, but the end of the day is you are the leader. You answer for it. One of the things I like how Coach Prime will take ownership, but I will also say, so I can give what I like and what I think could have been better. Like, for example, there's a saying that we use: you praise in public, but you discipline in private. I didn't agree with what he said about his O-line. That probably was something that you had behind the scenes because maybe they were salvageable and there was other things going on that say, hey, is there something going on? And you kind of do that, open door policy where you talk about it. I get, and I want to say I have zero issues with Coach Sanders and zero issues with Colorado because I see people saying it's hating. I'm not hating. And there's some great things they do. But the point is, we as a people got to look at it like, even when we get into politics, all of that stuff, which I'm not going there. I'm just going to say is that when you say you are the leader, then that means you own it. Yes, there may be reasons why you failed, but you have to do that own internal after action review to make sure you go, did I do everything I could have? He's been saying that, and that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I should have did this. I shouldn't have trusted this person. I shouldn't have did this. Those are good things. That tells me he's self-evaluating. And then I would hope that there's somebody that he has that has more experience that's calling him and saying, you shouldn't have did that, Dion. And somebody he trusts. But
But
overall,
everything
it
that you're
still falls
saying,
on
right?
him.
Everything that you're saying, does he not come into the press conference or in separate interviews tell us these things? And the reason why I'm saying that is now we can look at the transfer portal and see that he is aware. Everything that we see, y'all see what we need. He's going and getting it. That's a different stage of leadership. I am not saying do not critique him. By every means, I'm a football guy. But to say we critiquing him because of his style, he has to develop the culture. That takes time. Unfortunately, you have to adjust to what you have. If you call the right play and players don't have the ability in their repertoire at the moment to do it. I saw a situation where they shift over to have two O-line cover one guy, and the other guy who was open didn't know what to do because he ended up open, and the guy blew right past him and sacked Shador. You can't, in those situations, it's the team. So we can't turn around and say, hey, well, he shouldn't have called out the O-line. The O-line was trash. Let's not
Yeah, but
do that.
Panda, real quick, let me jump in. You can't pick your own blackberries and then turn around and try to push it off when the pie is not that good. You
He
picked your
did not pick
blackberries.
that O-line in that way
That's the
we
way
see.
it is.
I
I
like
get
that.
it.
The offensive line left after what? The spring training. So let's not have amnesia in how this team come together. I'm frustrated because our short-term memory is terrible. The O-line that he was counting on left
Here we
as a
go. They're
big
trash. They're
exit.
all trash. That's the
And
argument.
they left
Everybody's
as a
trash.
big exit to like stick it to him. So the fact that he was able to bring out 4 wins and he came in after the transport portal was open, which means that he didn't have a recruiting assembly for that region of play. Give the man some credit. Now
All
let's
right,
critique him. Let's critique him
Panda.
on play calling. When it comes down to play calling, there was a game that we were a touchdown behind, and Shador checked out and was running the ball 3 times. With the clock going the way it's going, dumb call. As a coach, you're supposed to step in on that. Bad call. There's other things we could talk about. Even the situation, the game that we lost against Arizona with the field goal. Unfortunately, how he designed the play was phenomenal. Matter didn't hit the
Panda, 30 seconds, brother. 30 seconds, brother.
yeah.
Bring it together. Bring it together.
Well, I was basically saying a lot of the things that he called were designed perfectly. If Matter had hit the field goal, we didn't have that issue. So a lot of the times we had to turn and look at the play, individual play, how they call it, and if the player was in the position to make the play. And I would say 85% of the time, it was the right play call. The players didn't have the ability in them.
Okay. So listen, let's put this to bed. Let's put this to rest because hey Tim, welcome back to the show. But let's put this to rest. We can go play for play, tit for tat. We can go and we can plug out things that went wrong, things that went right, and then try to come to a conclusion. That's not the idea here. I didn't try to open no gate of trying to go back to the offensive line and tell them how trash they were. That's not what I was trying to say. I understand. Listen, I want everybody to please calm down. Like, this is not about Coach Prime is bad coach. It's about understanding the general idea of leadership, the general idea that the fan base does not want you to criticize Coach Prime. Coach Prime never criticized the people that he really liked. Okay? Travis Hunter never got criticized. Shador never got criticized. Shiloh never got criticized. The people that he liked, they were never criticized. All right? It was always the big issue was this. When you boil it down to leadership, it has to come down on coaching because coaches get fired first before anybody else gets fired. But we know that Coach Prime is a different beast. I'm just saying, let the fan base calm down. Understand that when we talk football, everybody is up, everything and everybody's up for grab. Even Coach Prime is up for grab. So when you say, oh, we're not criticizing him the right way or anything like that, no, because when you criticize wins and losses, it's hard for you to start picking and plucking individual things because truth be told, and y'all going to hate me for saying this, if we go play for play, Coach Prime would come out like not that great. I'm trying to tell you.
We hate you, Harry.
You don't want to go like
you hate.
Yo, man, I don't know where
you don't want to go play for play and to judge Coach Prime based on play for play because he's the leader.
Every fan base had that type of fan, bro.
You're 100%.
Every fan base had this type of fan. I live 20 minutes from UGA campus. You think I could say anything about the coach and ain't had to knuckle up? Come on, man. You think you could be in Alabama and say anything about the coach and yo?
The fan base does online. Fans, whenever you lose,
are y'all real football fans?
You trash. Whenever you lose, your fan base is gonna call you trash. Okay.
I don't know if you're really football fans. We say trash amongst ourselves, but we ain't accepting it, bro. That's us being true fans of the program.
We are buff fans here, and we are critiquing our team. And I say spread some of that daggone thing around. Spread it around a little bit.
Well, yes.
And then you just made a critique about Shador and Travis and all of them. Critique them and what? They are the best players at the team. If anything, we could critique on Travis. Man, when he's under fatigue, he makes fouls.
Panda, I have a question for you. You saying that offense, that offensive line was trash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how can you say that?
Do you disagree?
Hold on.
Do you disagree?
Hold on.
Let him get his thoughts out, Panda. Come on,
Hold on. You said that they are trash.
Mm-hmm.
But who picked them?
What you mean? Who picked them, bro?
Who picked them?
So this is the crazy thing, right?
No, you're not answering the question.
You asked me a question. You want me to answer it, right?
It's a yes or no.
You asked me a question. You want me to answer it?
Go ahead.
Right? The recruiting is done by position coaches, right? The position coach and the offensive line coach, they came in with what? With a set of players that they believe. And as a coach, I'm trusting that the scouting that was done on this particular what we have, we're using the best of what we have.
Rephrase the question.
If you watch the documentary,
if
you watch the documentary, we know now. So it's not a situation where we could play like we don't know. From watching the documentary, we know by when he got there, oh my God, this is not it. Or Coach Hart was saying it. All the other coaches on the staff, when they was going around with the camera, was saying it. Oh, these guys are not it. They're not athletic enough. They're not big enough. They don't have the heart enough. So this is not a situation where they didn't know from day one.
Well,
We now
Hey,
know
let me
listen.
help you
because
Hey,
out.
we
listen.
can look
I
at
like to
the
make a point.
documentary.
Hey guys, I know you guys are going back and forth. I like
Guys,
to make a
listen,
point.
Tim has the microphone because he asked the question. He can only follow up. Let's give him that respect, guys. We gotta let Tim follow up because that was his question.
Dion signed off on these players coming to Boulder for their first season. It's a lack of coaching. Now you just expressed,
What
Panda,
O
that
line you
hold on,
finding?
Let him talk,
hold on,
Panda, man. God.
hold on. Because right now you sound like you have no lack of knowledge when it really comes to football to me. So
Okay, let's go ahead.
so what I'm saying is
Mm-hmm.
they are Dion signed off on it. So obviously he believed in what he had, regardless of if it's last minute or whatever.
He believed in what it had.
And football is football, my brother.
Let me rebuttal to what you said.
He
You
okay, I'm
say
gonna
he
give you a minute.
believed. Okay.
Oh my God. Go ahead, Panda. I can't get
You
nothing
say he
out.
believed in what he had, and we have a video, a documentary that is telling you he never believed in what was there. Hence the reason why he told him, hey, a lot of y'all ain't gonna make it. Y'all gotta go.
Okay.
Where
Let
are you
me-
going to find an O-line in a D1 program when you got the job after the portal was open?
Hey,
Let's
let me
deal
tell you
with
something,
facts,
Panda.
bro.
You have to be coachable. Coaches have to coach. Okay?
Thank you.
Regardless of what player come in. Okay, that's fundamental football. Number one. The coaches have to coach these players to play their positions. I don't care what team is on. I don't care what school it's at. The coaches
Yes.
have to coach these players to play the game of football.
Not at
If he
Colorado.
bring in this group
I
of
heard that,
guys,
Harry.
if he bringing this crew of guys that he
Stop
bringing in now, and if they win 5 games, so what you gonna go back and say? That they trash?
No, I would say
That
that
what
No,
he
this
said
no,
he's
is the
looking
no.
for.
first. You asked me what I would say. I would say I will critique Deion Sanders based on this season because this is his first true recruiting class.
So
I'm
are you
It's
going
saying
his
that
off
he
of
was a
what
first
you
bad
just
coach?
time.
said,
Are you
Panda.
saying
You
he was a
said they
bad
were
coach?
trash.
You asked me what
Well,
I would base it
listen.
on.
Hey, listen.
I would say
Harry,
he
I got
would
a
be a
question.
terrible coach because he had the opportunity to go to the portal to get the people he wanted from high school. And this is the
Okay.
first year
Okay.
he had to do that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Harry,
I
I
got
got a question, Harry.
Go ahead.
Listen. Okay. We're on Wednesday now in our Monday morning quarterbacking of last year. we're let's get back to this year, these players, and what we're gonna do going forward. We can critique the heck out of Bill Boyles not doing his job, calling them in, and then when they finally got fed up, he got rid of the OC. Well, we can go through all that stuff, but let's talk about this year, guys. You know, we kind of got away from the questions and the comparisons that we were asked earlier, and we fell back into that thing of, you know, Wednesday afternoon quarterbacking, you know, of last year. We don't know. We're all speculating and assuming. Let's use our minds and our intellect about football on what people are listening for, what they want. They want our opinions on what's going to happen tomorrow. What's going to happen with this guy or that guy, like we started out earlier. I thought we would touch on last year a little bit and then get back to talking about the guys that we have here now.
Well,
That's what
based
I want to talk
on
about. What
last
do
year,
we
it's how we
anticipate?
bring
What's
in
your
players.
opinion about what's going on and what's going to happen against North Dakota State? What's going to happen against Utah? Do we have a chance this year against Kansas State?
Yeah, they played
Let's
last night. Yeah.
Yo, Harry, can I make a quick comment on the conversation that we've had, and I promise I'll make it quick.
go ahead.
He was
All
sacked
right, so
56 times and the O-line was good.
Yeah, that's last year. Come on, man, last year. What about this year?
We were talking about last year.
I wanna say that funny enough, I actually agree with both Tim and Panda. Panda, I think has a good point that this is the first full recruiting cycle that Dion will have. So this will give us a chance to see if Dion is actually as good of a recruiter as we say. And then my second point to what Tim was saying is whoever is on that team, whoever has a jersey, it is Dion's job and their position coach's job to make sure that those guys are ready to play. And based off what we saw, a lot of guys were not ready to be on that field, regardless of if they were starters or backups. That's all.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
to kind of add to just get this off my chest, since y'all been getting stuff off your chest, it's just
It's only fair. It's only fair. It's only fair.
It's only fair, right? I just feel like it's fair critique. It's not no bad blood. It's not like we're trying to throw Coach Prime under the bus. It's okay to bring it up because if you feel that, what you're doing is you're saving your energy for next year. I want you to get your energy out now. Even in the chat, get it out now. If you are afraid to say something, you're gonna wait until whatever you think is gonna transpire. And I've said it on this channel. If you're waiting for you to unleash something, understand that Coach Prime needs grace. All right, understand that the stuff that we're talking about is fair game. It's not like, oh, you're trash because you think Coach Prime can't do this. I want everybody to understand the position that I'm at when it comes to this channel. I don't want to be that guy to be like, oh, I had it in my head and I was thinking it, because that's what I've been seeing lately. I've been seeing a lot of people now finally, because like I told you guys in the beginning, a lot of people were so bullish on this team. It was almost like we were supposed to be undefeated. So now that now that we have a little bit of data on Coach Prime, now some people are even bold enough to come out and say, wow, maybe X, Y, and Z. But it's okay to say how you feel about certain things without somebody telling you, oh my gosh, you trash. You don't know anything about football. Anything? The football is it's called pigskin. I know one thing. It's called a pigskin. Are you lying?
hey, Harry, let me say this. You're speaking, your comments are coming from experience. And I'll tell you why. I've been listening to you almost from the beginning that you started your bandwagon buffs. From the very beginning. And I remember, you carrying that flag of saying, no fly zone. And that was
exactly
that was in the beginning. And I understand now you want to say, hey, look, let's look at things a little more realistically. Let's find out that, let's be responsible on our opinions, with our opinions, and the comments that we make regarding our team that we like, we love, we cheer for. We even might break a cheer for or something. I don't know.
Right.
But listen, what we want to do is be, intellectually sound in our comments about our team. I know that's what you're reaching for, and that's what you would like for us to have.
And Ron,
and there's a lot of critique. And yes, Coach Prime did talk about Shador holding the ball too long. Yes, he did. There were some mistakes that he's made that he needs to grow. Those are comments that came out of his mouth that he needs to get better at as a head coach. So, we're not saying anything, against Coach Prime that he hasn't already, or mentioning anything about or critiquing Coach Prime that he hasn't already realistically spoken on about himself.
So
now,
let me throw this out. Let me throw this out so you understand. Like, do people really understand what they call us Buff fans? Have y'all taken a poll or have y'all even seen some of the things that they call us Buff fans? Because you have different levels of Buff fans, right? You have your bandwagon Buffs. Those are the people that come over from Jackson State, Coach Prime lovers. Then you have people who are just regular fans who don't care to call themselves anything. But do you really understand what they call us? Because when we are not willing to just have regular football conversation without somebody calling you a name, like you don't know anything about football, they call us like what have they been saying in the comments? Prom sexuals. They've been calling. They're calling a lot of things because a lot of us are not willing to have regular conversations. Any type of pushback, any type of critique is always met with, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know anything about football. You don't know anything about FBS football. It's like as soon as you say something, it's met with that energy. So people have a name for us. You see what I'm saying? That's because we're not willing to have a football conversation, regular football conversation. I ain't talking about, oh my God, what the haters will be doing. Like, God forbid I say anything hateful for Coach Prime. I'm just having a regular critique. We can't even agree that Coach Prime has to coach the players that are on his team. Who said that first? Pat Narduzzi from Pittsburgh, from Pitt. He said, you're responsible for the young men that you inherit when you become a head coach. That's what the Pitt coach said. And other coaches agreed that whoever you get on that squad, that's your squad.
Yeah.
We can't even come to an agreement with that. Are you serious? Like
that's not my issue though. Thing my issue was with what he had, the team did the best they can do. And I think
check this out, Panda. Check this out. Check this out. Northwestern had a bad record last year, and they dealt with what they had. They didn't go to the portal. And again, but let me move it a little bit. Move this conversation a little bit. I like Colorado, and I watched the first game and I was amazed. Great offense. Second game, they fought hard, all that good stuff. Third game, it was just a beast. But what I saw was a lot of CU fans having rat poison. Media giving CU rat poison over and over again. So one of the reasons I became I'll say I'm a Colorado enthusiast, not necessarily the fan. It's because it's an amazing thing. I like to see transformational leadership all day long. I love it. And the thing is that I watch where it's almost like there's a sect of the fan base that wants you to shake pom-poms and say everything is great. Yeah. And you can only say it's great. Yeah. And then when it's bad, it's like, well, now there's 1,000 excuses. When it's great, Prime, but the gold jacket don't be on the sideline.
That has never been my position on here.
I know it hasn't been yours.
No, but
I'm just telling you.
You have also been the one saying, I have pom-poms, and you said it as a joke, but you didn't mean it as a joke.
I didn't mean that.
If we being men,
I didn't mean that.
I am cool with that.
Because I didn't mean that.
He was joking, Panda.
I didn't mean that.
Really, he was joking.
Come on, we're not being serious. Chill.
I didn't mean that, brother. I mean, really, though.
Bro, I'm a goofball. It's not even that serious. What I'm saying, as a collective, we have different perspective and different buy-in. Legacy, Buff fans, they had a different buy-in than we are. We come in as a part of the Prime Collective. So I have no problem with the constructive criticism that goes along with football. But I think when we're making the criticism, we it's not really fair at this point of the journey. Just like Phil is somebody I really appreciate, because even though he comes with criticism, it wakes up my mind. Okay, I didn't look at it from that perspective. But it's about numbers. It's about personnel. And I think a lot of times you have to factor in what is going on the field with the people you have and things of that nature. And you cannot critique a coach if he didn't have the opportunity to do the things that a coach does in order to be consistently and blameless. When I know,
but see, but what I'm saying is a lot of these people see again, went to Alabama State. I've been seeing Prime since he started coaching in the SWAC, because Alabama State's a SWAC school. So I'm not just sitting up here just talking and blowing smoke. I've been watching. The point I'm gonna say is then definitely yield is that what I see is that it's a lot of people that take what's being said as destructive criticism, not constructive criticism. You want to see some destructive criticism? Go watch Feinbaum. You watch the SEC Network. You will see all kind of crazy stuff. And understand, I also live where in Alabama, man, people die after the Iron Bowl because it's that deep. I'm just telling you. So the
killing trees, all that stuff.
Exactly. My youngest daughter goes to Auburn, and I drive down there, and I took her back on campus. I'm like, dang, that dude really poisoned them trees. But the thing being is that I like Colorado. That's why I'm here. I could do something else right now. But the point I see, though, and I think that's kind of what Harry is saying, is that there's some people that only want to hear You are great, and your gold jacket ascends everything. And we're just talking. That's all. It was a good football conversation.
I'll tell y'all this. One of my praising Prime videos gets a lot more views than my constructive criticism videos for Prime. I get people unsubscribing when I provide some type of constructive criticism with Prime. And I get a lot of, when I start saying how great Prime is as far as a media person and how he's killing the game, boy, I'm telling you, 50,000 views and 1,200 views is like, and then people in the comments sending me personal letters and stuff like how I don't know anything and all of that. And I'm like, yo, you have to now understand that we got to develop, we got to grow as a fan base. All right. Maybe we all came in, kind of like green. We all understood like, okay, this is new to us. Where the heck is Colorado? We figured out where Colorado was, who the fan base was. It's predominantly white people. We all here. We love Colorado, right? But then we're not going to develop. We're just going to stay right here where Coach Prime is still the man, and that's everything. And like, okay, and that's all I want you to say. Like,
but this
is
the
progression.
thing.
You know what
we have to
gotta
be honest with where we coming from. So we can't say we
that,
had a
don't
great
suggest
O-line.
We're not honest. Don't
But
suggest
no,
I'm
no,
not
we are
honest.
not. Because
I'm
just
not
now
honest.
somebody said that the O-line was good. If that's the case, he wouldn't have been sacked 56 times, man.
You said we have
so
different
I am
perspectives.
critiquing.
You just said that.
I am
Your
critiquing the
perspective
team.
is not the only perspective that's right.
But that is fine. That is fine. But
let that be.
The numbers and the data has to show the point.
Well,
if
you just said that we're not honest
efficient,
and you're honest. Listen to what you're saying, Panda. Listen to what you just said. You just conceded to say it's okay for us all to have difference of opinions, right? Now you're the same person coming back and saying, well, we're not honest for giving you our opinion of the offensive line.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
We tell you that the offensive line was against you 3,200 yards with Shador passing. That's a defense. That's a decent number to say that the offensive line wasn't trash. They needed some coaching. They needed a better scheme. They needed a better leadership. When we give you that,
Nick Saban coaches the O-line? Does Nick
What?
Saban coaches the O-line?
It's a difference of opinion.
Does
That's
Nick Saban coaches the O-line?
He doesn't coach the O-line,
No.
but if something needs to be changed, he goes in and changes it. That's what he does. If something needs to be changed, he goes in and changes it.
All right. So based on what we had previously, what change can we have done to the O-line to be more successful?
But Panda, hold up. But Panda, the thing is that just like the other brother said,
I want to blame Coach Prime for it. So Coach
what I'm
Prime
saying
didn't do X to the O-line.
But Panda, what we're saying is that because the brother said moving forward and not Monday morning and Wednesday morning quarterback, it's to a point of taking an objective look at Colorado and seeing if they're making the adjustments and listen to Prime. It's not it's part of the issue. Part of it is you got people saying Coach Prime just took a dump. Let's go all the way. We got to go all the way to Boulder for this. No, at the end of the day,
he's entertaining, bro. He had to do what he got to do to make his money. I'm not against anybody trying to make their bag. Unfortunately, what comes with that is uneducated people about football get super depressed because they're not informed of what football is. As Phil said, it really takes 3 years. Everybody on the panel, I think we agree, it takes 3 years. What I'm asking for my edification, because I respect everybody in here. I don't want nobody to think I don't respect their opinion. Tell me how that O-line could have been adjusted by better coaching in terms of.
Let me just say this.
That's a setup. That's a trap. Panda's a trapper. Panda is like Panda is 2 chains. He's trying to trap you. That's all he's trying to do.
Okay.
But the thing I'm gonna say, let me just say this. I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna get out.
I'm gonna wait.
Hold on. Let me just say this and then I'm gonna back off. I'm gonna just say this and back off. I'm not hating on nobody else's channel or anything like that. That was a joke. Again, if y'all don't know, I do joke. I got that dry, sometimes direct military humor. So I'm not joking on it. What strictly saying is you don't want to have it where everybody's always telling you positive things versus negative. Anyway, I'm backing up. I'm still listening. This show right here is fire, y'all. Fire.
Okay, guys, listen. Here's what I'm thinking. While you guys were talking,
are you taking the trap question?
No, sir, I'm not going to trap you with this. I promise you. I promise you.
No. I'm saying Panda has a question on the floor. I need
No,
somebody to answer that trap question.
I
got you.
Let me just say this one thing. Out of everything we said and all we've been talking about, we're talking about one thing. We're talking about a team. TEAM, a team. Now, within that team, everybody's responsible. The coaches, the assistant coaches, the players, the trainers, the dog, the cat, everybody, if you're part of the team. So realistically, and I know it may sound cynical, but I'm not trying to be, everybody was responsible for it but we have to go and individualize it. Oh no, it was your fault. Oh no, it's your fault. Oh no, it's your fault. Well, if you would have did, that's not the team. The team. We didn't lose it. Coach Prime didn't lose. We lost as a team. Colorado lost as a team. And I know that just sounds. I'm not being really vague with it or nothing like that. But at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to.
All right, go ahead, Phil.
Just answer, Phil.
Go ahead, Phil.
All right. So
remind everybody of the trap question, please.
The trap question was what could Deion have done to coach the offensive line better? Is that correct, Panda?
Basically what he could have done that would have improved the O-line that we had.
Okay, so I'm a Bama fan. At the beginning of the season, Bama's offensive line was not doing what they needed to do. Jalen Milroe was not playing to the level that he's playing right now. When that fourth week came around, the play calling changed. The route concepts that they ran were different, as well as they kept an extra tight end to help their left tackle that was having issues because he was a true freshman starting and he was having issues. Colorado, at the end of the season, they tried to make some of those changes, but I feel like it was too late. Deion should have went and sat down with his offensive coordinator and his offensive line coach and said, okay, hey, listen, what are the plays that we can put in place that will allow Shador, who's a very intelligent quarterback, he's really good at making the right decision with the ball. What are some plays that we can run to get the ball out of his hands quickly? Because most of the sacks that Shador got was because he was trying to hold on to the ball longer than he needed to, and he made decisions. They should have made a change in the type of plays that were called, swing passes out of the backfield, because we saw how Dylan Edwards ate up TCU to start the season out the backfield with the swing passes and those screen plays. They should have ran some more slants, and they should have ran more drag routes that was killing the defense, when they played against Colorado State. So those are some of the changes that Deion could have made to improve or to mask some of the issues on the offensive line.
Can I push back a little bit?
It's not my show, but sure.
It's your trap question. We knew it was coming, so go ahead.
But didn't we not see that they made adjustments, but it was the wrong person in at the particular time? So, for example, I have to blame the OC and Deion because I'm a concede based on the perspective you gave. The offensive coordinator cannot have Dylan Edwards blocking. It is madness.
He's got to work on that.
Madness. So I concede that they should have had the forthwith to adjust that thought process. But I can also say that Dylan Edwards dropped some completely open slant balls that would have sent him down the field. You know, I want to critique again, but I feel that comes down to also position coaches. The position coaches putting in the right person. There were people on defense that were better on the passing than those who were better on the route, the running. And a lot of times, I don't know if you all notice, college football does this a lot, where the play calling is coming from the sideline. So it's not a preset amount of plays, and you watch your forearm and calling them. And what happens when you run that style of defense and offense, you have to pull, because when you saw it, you saw the right thing, but then you have to pull the person out to plug in the right person.
All right,
That's
Panda.
how we end up
Panda,
with 12 people on the field.
Panda,
So
your question was, could he have something to change the offensive line? I'm
so
thinking
I'm
that
just
there
I was
were two things. Let me finish my
Mhm.
point. There were
Okay.
two things that I believe throughout the season that were obvious to me in watching them play was the offensive coordinator and the offensive line coach. I didn't think either one of them were doing Coach Prime any justice. Now, I think Coach Prime stepped in late, trying to give them both the benefit of doubt. Because of, number one, I watched the techniques of the offensive linemen, and I watched the play calling. And the third thing was what you said, the personnel that were in there in various plays. Offensive coordinator should have that down to a T. The head coach should understand what the offense is going to do and what the defense is going to do a day before the game is even ready to start. So yes, it's Coach Prime's responsibility, 100%, to not have that offensive line prepared for each game. Now, can we move on to whatever time we have left?
Wait. Let me
Just
rebuttal what you just said, bro.
no, I don't want any more rebuts
Yeah,
about
but
last
you
year.
can't just do that.
About
No,
last
no,
year,
no. You
I
can't just
agree.
do that, bro.
Coach
You
Prime
can't just do
had
that.
some responsibility in it.
Yes, as the head honcho of the organization, he
Yes,
does. But then
yes,
you can't turn around and said you observe that the
yes,
offensive coordinator and
yes,
the one who runs the line isn't
yes.
doing the best they could. So
That's
you are
right.
then saying that he was sabotaged, but then you are turning around and saying that you were sabotaged, but you should have been able to do it. Bro, do you understand the pressure that man was in? If you
Of
watch
course,
Coach
That's
Hart
why
was,
you make
but
$5 million a year. That's why
Coach
you make
Hart
$10
was
million a year. You
whistleblowing. Bro, let me finish
listen.
it. I'll allow you to finish your point.
Okay, I'm
Coach
sorry.
Hart was saying, hey, a lot of people ain't gonna be here. He was whistling that at game 4. So that they knew. I just think Coach Prime was victim to politics. This is my conspiracy now, and I'll take full responsibility. I agree. I concede the blame goes to him. So for the record, I concede overall the blame goes to him. But I also think he had to play the optics of removing him, because we all could say, I had a shorty sitting next to me and she could predict the play. I'm like, this ain't Netflix and chill, but like shorty out here watching the football and catching on. So understand, if a chick who have no intellect about football could be like, didn't they just do that a play ago? Which means that I believe there was a lot of infighting, like Harry said. And I think
Panda.
overall, how does he play that role of getting rid of the OC? Because when he did, we upset. If he didn't do it, we upset. At some point, the decision has to make. And when it came, which we all believe was the right decision, we still upset. So I am conceding that overall the blame goes to him. But at the same time, I'm saying, like, we can acknowledge the flaws in the rest of the armor, and we still don't want to blame the people.
Panda, that's 2 minutes, bro.
Hey,
Yo,
hey,
real quick,
can I
real
say
quick.
something real
Just a
quick?
quick question, man.
Yo,
Oh,
Real
damn,
quick.
Panda. My
Please
Lord.
don't ask me a
My
question.
my question to Panda, and I'm gonna make it real quick. This is the question: why
Oh,
would Dion
Panda,
care about the
question?
optics why would Dion care about optics when he's already said, what makes you think I care about your opinion of me? So why would you then say he's worried about optics if
He
he's
was
known to not?
talking about the media perception of him and how he carries himself with the glasses and the prime vibrato. So don't mix up the two. So you see, when every time
Okay,
you all
Panda.
say something,
That's good. You answered it. That was great.
I
That
can
was
rebuttal that.
okay. Good. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Tim. Good God.
no, I was just gonna say that what DC said is DC on here, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what DC said yesterday, it ties into everything that we're talking about now. It Yes, they had a decent offensive line, because if not, they wouldn't have won the first 3 games. What happened in between that? DC was talking about, leading troops into battle, and there's certain people, you got privates that need to be able to trust their first sergeant. Their first sergeant got to be able to trust whoever's above them. Deion Sanders, like someone just said, he should have brought them to the table and said, hey man, we done lost X amount of games in a row. What happened between now and the beginning of the season? Yes, I understand people got film on us, but we got to be able to strategize. And I felt like it was none of that. It was like almost like, okay, well, let these troops go on out here and get killed every Saturday.
All right, so let me encapsulate that a little bit and just say, or push back a little bit and say that he did go into the press and tell us that he was having those meetings. So I just want to make that clear that the answer to your question was he did do that. And
welcome back home, Harry. Welcome back.
Come on, man. You know I'm always fair. Come on now. I'll play the devil's advocate, then I can come back to reality. But anyway,
you're pretty good at it. I can't do it.
I'm running a show here, Panda. What do you think I'm doing here? Come on now. I'm not gonna just let a bunch of yes men sit here and be
Harry, didn't you know? Don't nobody like the devil?
Listen, that's why I play his advocate. I'm not him. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
No, man.
That's right, Harry.
It's understandable. The pushback creates you to challenge you in your thinking. All right. Yes. I give you the pushback to challenge you, to challenge your thinking about the entire system. You guys heard me say that this year, right? Or this time around, that no one man is bigger than this team. Not even Coach Prime. I want you to please understand that. Not even Coach Prime is bigger than this team. Everybody is playing their part. Coach Prime is the leader, but even him, he's not bigger than the team. We are talking about the team as a whole. Coach Prime being one of the best leaders as far as college football is concerned, and what he's able to bring to the table, it has been unheard of. So I see that, but I want to challenge the fan base, and also you guys are doing a great job. And I don't know if you guys have been on panels before and talking sports talk and stuff like that, but even Panda is correcting his time a little bit. I used to just have Panda on. Him and I can talk for 3 hours. But the idea that what we're doing, and I want y'all to understand, what we have done is to challenge each other. Panda conceding to Coach Prime, taking some of the blame, that's new, right? So that's like, and that's what I want everybody to understand. Don't jump to conclusion when somebody's making a point thinking like, oh, okay, they either hate Prime or they don't hate Prime. It's a perspective. And let everybody's perspective be heard, because you may not know where they're going with it until they're finished. But as soon as we say something, somebody opens their mouth and say, boom, oh my gosh, you're hating Coach Prime? We can't get nowhere. How are we going to ever change anything when nobody can get their thoughts out? So Phil So Real, thank you so much for joining the show. Please give me your last words, brother.
It means so much that I can come on here and try to provide constructive criticism about Colorado, because any other place that I go to, I'm deemed as a hater. And Panda, all jokes aside, I'm down in Macon, Georgia. If you ever want to link up, hit me up. It means a lot that I got your respect. So I appreciate it. Hope you have a wonderful weekend and a safe, wonderful New Year. Y'all be blessed.
So Panda, what are your last words, brother? Great show today, man.
Man, shouts out to everybody on the panel, man. Definitely respect everybody vantage point. I think sometimes when I look at it, I think I look at from a panoramic view, and sometimes it's good to isolate and listen to the point that happened in the moment. So it's definitely good to hear the different perspective. I'm not it's got to sound like this XYZ. No, I'm definitely appreciating the different perspective on football, and we learning too at the same time.
That's what's up. I'm glad you didn't say you're seeing it in a Panda view. That would have been special to me. So Big Willie Style from the Tanners channel. What up with you, man? What's your last words?
Hey man, I appreciate all you guys, man. I look forward, every day now that we're on, to come in, not just to say something, but to learn. I learned so much from more of you guys. DC, Phil, Panda for sure. You're my brother. Ron and Tim, I learned so much from you guys just from hearing what you got. Because everything that you guys have to say, man, is important. Trust me. Because if it wasn't important, you wouldn't say it. So, thank you, Harry. You're the man. So I appreciate all you guys. And I just want to say that.
Appreciate you too, man. Ron Tate, what's up, man? How you?
Hey, listen.
You provided some great commentary today. I appreciate you. What are your last thoughts?
Well, I just wanted to say that I hope that as this panel moves forward, next year and throughout the season, that we understand that we all have a lot of respect for one another, and I'm like the coach there, that I have a dry sense of humor myself. I just hope that in the midst of our conversating, as we become closer, and Harry doesn't really know me other than seeing my name, but since I've listened to him almost from the beginning of him being on, I felt a kind of kinship. And by me, and I didn't mean any disrespect by me saying that the guy whose name I can't say, just the Harry's cousin, and I didn't mean to disrespect Africa, his heritage, or Harry, but I felt I could get that out, and he would help understand what I was trying to say, because I felt a kind of kinship. And I hope we all understand that, as we continue to converse, about something that we really like or love, that it's kind of a brotherhood, and we can banter back and forth because it is a brotherhood. And I wish you all the best, and God bless you all.
Hey man, I don't take it any kind of way, man. Listen, when you've been doing the YouTube for a year and you've gone through the highs and the lows and everything in between, you understand that you gotta be, you gotta be open to criticism. You gotta be open to anything, and then you just gotta laugh at times, because that's just all it is. People mean well for the most part, so I understand it and I appreciate you. So DC, what are your last words, brother? This is your second show, right, DC?
Yes, it is, and I loved it. I've been a long time listener, second time, engaging, and I just want to say, brother, like there's not a lot of shows that have people that look like us having conversations like us, and it's still just powerful that we can bounce things off of each other. I learned from Ron, I learned from Tennis, I learned from Phil, you, Panda, love it. And keep this going, brother. Even if it's sometimes you get off into of course, sports is the driving thing, but just keep this going, because I think this world needs where people can take a break from everything that's going on and just talk good football. So great job, Harry. Great job, panel.
Salute, man. As long as as long as YouTube is cutting those checks, I promise you I will try my best to try to keep it going. Even though the checks are little, but I still appreciate it, whatever is going on. So I am glad. Listen, man, we are growing, and Tim has been around. Tim, I think, Tim, you were one of the first guests to come on, and you've been on since, right?
Yeah, man, I've been on ever since. And I would just like to say, man, hey, I thank you for allowing me to even come on to your platform, man. It's a blessing. I enjoy all these wonderful guys that's on this panel, man. Even Wild Dog and Flock. I don't know what happened to Flock, but I enjoy his perspectives as well. And I just enjoy coming talking football, man, college football, and giving my little 2 cents.
And Zulu said, "Wow, you want to limit your channel to race?" Shaking my head. No, we're not limited to race. That's what I'm saying. There's always this misunderstanding.
How did that come up?
Somebody said something. That's how the internet works, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a misunderstanding. Ain't nobody said anything about race, or we saying that we want to limit TLP Sports Club to black people coming here and talking. Because we had, I think Josh from Boulder was white, right? Josh was on here he was giving us information.
He was pretty good too.
Yeah, Josh was pretty good. So I think Josh was white, if I'm not mistaken. But I invite anybody to come on here and give their opinion, and so that we can talk Buff football. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, you can get stuck in the comments, and sometimes it's frustrating to just like, you have an opinion you really want to share. You want to just those characters that you have to type in sometimes, the typos and everything. This is your opportunity to get your voice heard. And you guys are thanking me, but I'm thanking you for coming on. If you don't come on, you know what I'm saying? You guys make the show. So I just felt like we're building a bond here, and I appreciate everyone that comes on, and hopefully we can recruit other people to come on as well and not be afraid to add their voice to the conversation. Gentlemen, have a great weekend, man. This is Friday. You guys always make Friday like the best show. I don't know. Maybe it's the
no
fact that
holds
it's
barred, man. It's WWF.
do we add a free for all Wednesday? Because I feel like free for all Fridays are just like off the chart. You guys take me everywhere, and then I have to just keep going, man. Well, thank you guys. Have a great weekend. I will see you guys on Monday. All right.
All right. Hey, can I say one more thing,
Thank you,
Harry?
brother. Thank you.
Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead.
Hey, everyone have a blessed and prosperous 2024.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, same to you, man.
Same to you, man.
All right, so Monday would be New Year's, and I don't know if I'll do New Year's, but maybe we should do New Year's and bring in the New Year's and just have a conversation about just a general conversation. Why not, right? All right, guys. See y'all later. Peace out. Okay, so thank you guys for joining the show. I really appreciate you guys being a part of this show. You guys know how I feel about you. You know what it is about Colorado football. We talk about the good, the ugly, the bad, the great, everything and everything else in between. That's what we talk about here on TLP Sports Club. Thank you for being a part of the community. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. I will see you guys next time. And the New Year's is on Monday, so we'll see you in 2024. Thank you for making 2023 a great season and a great year for TLP Sports Club. I appreciate you. Namaste. God bless you. You know who I am. I'm Harry B. And that right there is the Liberian perspective. Let's make 2024 an even better year. All right? TLP Sports Club. Peace out.